Helps if you're not muted, Matt. Good evening, everyone. This is the Warball. I'm your host, Matt, and we've got guys on stage already, so I'll introduce them one by one. First of all, welcome to Ultimate Greatness, Shawnee. How you doing, mate?
Hey Matt, how's things?
Things are good. Things are good. In a bit of a rush, but got there eventually.
Yep.
And we've got Age. Welcome, Age.
G'day, fellas.
How's it going?
Good, mate. Just finished up watching Mick's stream with those two North psychopaths on.
Wow, epic, epic stuff. Nothing.
It's all,
nothing.
yeah, it's
Nothing-
always a good palate cleanser when you get some guys like that on just to rejig the brainwaves, I guess.
That's it.
Yeah. Nothing like the combination from an Oppo fan, combination of ignorance and arrogance. It'll fly. Yeah, Nick's right. I do hate North Melbourne now.
Yeah. I actually didn't mind it because the expectations were kind of like spot on, and I was just kind of all right. I'm just here for the vibes now, and for one that was like on the show, like because it was so crazy and out there, I'm like, all right, cool. Let's just enjoy this really weird and crazy ride, and it wasn't too bad in the end. And I think as the stream went on, they got a bit more relaxed, a bit more chilled, and and they sort of eased into it all right. But as I said, it's just a good palate cleanser just to get some fans in to say a bit, some left field things off the bat, and sometimes it's just it can get pretty boring in this AFL season. So when you get some fans talking like that, it's like I kind of welcome it in a weird way.
Yeah. No, it was entertaining. It was refreshing to just and they came out all guns blazing as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
So that's the real world. That is your average Collingwood hating supporter.
Yeah.
So they're normal. So that's what you gotta expect most of the time. Chrissy, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, doing good. I have an uncle who's a North Melbourne supporter, but after listening to those people, I'm like you, Matt. I hate North Melbourne now. I never will like North Melbourne ever again after listening to those guys. After listening to those guys, bad Collingwood that much, that guy showing that Collingwood picture in the background, I thought, yeah, I can understand why Mick said that everyone hates North Melbourne. Yeah, because of them too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they didn't disappoint. And I was saying to the chat, I was sort of in and out listening to it, but that guy, Taz, he sounds exactly like Matty Granlin from 3AW, who used to be on SEN. You know, the guy who calls the games on 3AW?
Yeah, very similar.
Sounded exactly like him.
Yeah.
So we've got the usual suspects in the chat. Good morning, Josh, Stephanos, and Voidoid. G'day, Void. Yes, mate, you did represent the Pies okay. Both you and Sean were very measured and very logical. Not that helps when you're dealing with people who are being completely emotional and irrational at times.
Yeah, as I said, the vibes were definitely vibing.
It was just a bit hard to, like, a couple of times I think you guys even asked, but I'm just thinking to myself, what's your point? Do you have one?
No.
Rage bait at its finest.
Oh,
I could tell the last 10 minutes there, Void was about to lose his shit.
Yeah. No,
yeah, talking about key forwards, and then we mentioned who did we mention at the end? We were talking about like Jamie Elliott or no. Fuck, there was a guy that was like, I don't know, he would have been like 178 centimeters, and we were talking about key forwards or something, and I'm just sitting there about, what are you on? Like, I guess at Collingwood he would be a key forward for us, but it wasn't a Collingwood player though. I don't know. Maybe someone who watched the stream can tell me in the chat. Cause it's now going to annoy me until I figure it out. Was it like Toby Green or something? No. It was someone, I don't know, someone mentioned Key Ford, and I just heard a name, and I'm like, dude's not even 6 foot.
I think was his point that Collingwood won a premiership and we're no good because we didn't have big forwards kicking goals.
Power forwards, specifically power forwards. Yeah.
And like, oh, who cares who kicks your goals? Like,
I mean, I can understand from a structural point of view, and like, you know, you got to have different avenues and stuff. But yeah, at the end of the day, if you've got, doesn't matter if, you know, Jared Blair's kicking, you know, 12 goals for the game, you know, at least that's 12 goals the team has.
It's I mean, we had Dan McStay got injured in the prelim, and they would have been our two talls. And so we basically went in with small forward line and Checkers. Checkers, who's a glorified third stringer, and what a good third stringer he was. But that's just the reality of it. We got the job done. What do you want? So, but Mick says, I told you you'd hate North after those cunts. I could just imagine you're the younger cousin, and Taz was the older cousin, and I could just imagine it was just like my older cousin. He was 4 years older than me, and this is in the late 70s and the early 80s, and he was a Hawthorn. He still is a Hawthorn supporter, mad Hawthorn, and the biggest smart ass.
It was Nick Watson. They were talking about power key forwards, and Nick Watson was mentioned. That's who it was.
Oh.
So it played from my memory because I'm like power forwards and then Nick Watson, and I'm like, there's somebody. Who was it? But it wasn't someone tall. Yeah, there you go. That's why I sort of like I was just laughing at it the whole time, just checking out. I'm like, yep, cool. Let's just vibe out now.
Yeah.
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 In fairness, it was a good stream and it was very entertaining. Like it was it was definitely a good time. Like I wasn't sitting there hating it, obviously. It was just a thing where, all right, I just know I'm just gonna hear some weird things and some things are, you know, I'm gonna touch on the crazy side, and I'm just gonna sit here and be, all right, I'm just gonna be ready for anything. And I'm just going to vibe out and just try and I'll just try to have as good of a time as I can. And it turned out to be all right. It was a pretty good stream.
Yeah, no, it was good. What I heard of it. Got me stirred up, but you know, in that good footy sort of way that just means you care, you know.
Yeah, as I said, I was so just like laughing to myself about the Nick Watson power key forwards.
Oh yeah. Went from power forwards to just anyone who can kick 30 goals a year. He kept wriggling out of his claims.
Yep.
Now, couldn't imagine Taz would be the type of bloke who would ever say, "Oh yeah, you got me there. Good point." No way.
Yeah.
He's gonna grip onto something like a pit bull, and then just when you think you've got him, he's gonna latch onto something else. Goalposts have just suddenly moved.
Yep. Well, after tonight, it'd be pretty hard to defend those allegations.
Yeah. He sure was.
Yeah.
Let's bring one of the defenders of the realm on stage, and we can debrief with him. G'day, Void.
Hey, yeah, I was trying to type in the chat, but my hand, like, it's so fucking cold in here that I was mistyping everything. My fingers are freezing. But I better hop on because, like, I thought it was like arguing with Donald Trump.
Yes, he was a master.
I love that.
Teflon Don.
He challenged Trump for the grandiose, you know. Greatest side ever, North Melbourne. We've just been the best for the last 2 decades. You haven't won anything. We're the greatest.
Oh, it's just funny.
It's just undeniable.
I actually like those two.
Everybody knows it.
Everybody knows
I like those two guys, but it was really it was really funny with Taz because he started out saying power forwards, and I explained.
And then Nick Watson
they don't perform in finals, and then he goes, "Yeah, name Brisbane's forwards from last year." And I said, "Oh, is Eric Hipwood a dominant forward?" Yeah. Anyone who kicks 30 goals a year. Eric Hipwood kicks 1 goal every fucking 3 weeks.
I reckon we might play a bit at some stage. Play a bit back and react to it. Just to listen to it again. It'd be funny.
Oh, it was good. It was good done.
It was.
And he's right. We don't attract forwards, but then the argument went from that to then they win your grand finals to then, oh, no, they help you make finals. But then, because every time I was saying, no, that they underperform in finals, key forwards. Oh, yeah, but they get you to the finals. Like, what's the argument anymore?
Yeah. And then he was talking about Checkers and stuff, and Checkers didn't even have a good grand final as well. It's like, oh, okay.
Oh, it's like arguing with someone with Alzheimer's.
We called John Peter Russell Clark at work. Yeah, he did. It was a bit there. Where's the cheese? Peter, g'day. Russell, g'day. Clark, see you later.
It was funny because I wasn't going to hop on tonight earlier because I was just going to listen tonight, but I just turned the sound up and I heard this guy going off saying all this wild stuff, and I said, "Terrell, I've got to get on now, so I can't have this shit."
No, I'm glad you did, because we would have been outnumbered without you. I was dying to jump on as well, but I was at the onsen down the road. I went to doing a bit of a detox. Wouldn't have been a good look. I'm fucking arguing about Collingwood in this fucking Japanese onsen. I was so tempted to though. It was like I got this feeling. I had that sort of idea of that, that scene in Planes, Trains, and Automobile, where Neil just cracks it with Del, and he's like, not everything is an anecdote. Like, here's a good idea: when you tell a story, have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
Oh, that fucking movie.
Mixed right. When Hotkey's the normal one, you got some psychopaths on.
Yeah, look, I don't like to give myself. I'm certainly no superstar. Like, but the funny thing is, Swoop. I remember when he was arguing with Kane, and he started thinking, "Come on, make a good argument. There's plenty to make. Make a good one."
Yeah.
Kane said, "You've got no young players," and all Swoop did is talk about Nick Dacos. Yeah, but what about Nick Dacos? Oh, you just lost. You just lost.
Yeah, ultimate nappy answer that.
It was such an easy question to answer too.
Yeah.
Just name someone in the VFL even.
Reel them off.
Hope fucking Ed Allen kills him tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to know the other funny thing about that was that all of their arguments pointed to Fly being a bad coach, but then they never mentioned Fly being a bad coach. That whole video, they were like, because the other dude was basically trying to say it without saying it, because they were going on about Charlie West. It's like, oh, but like I don't pick the team, Fly does, and he's basically saying, he's basically saying that like Fly's a bad coach, but he's not outright saying it. And I'm just sitting there, just being like, come on, just fucking say it, like,
See, my rule is like when it's an outsider, you defend your club, you defend it, defend your coach, defend everything. But then when it's amongst the supporters, we can have our chats, about what we want to critique. But as soon as they're outsiders, it's like, nah, we're united. We're Collingwood. And we're not having it.
I'm still going to be real because the narrative, you've got a shit list. And I'm like, no, it's not just that. There's a lot of other factors. In fact, our list is in space of 3 months, our list has got a hell of a lot better with our young players. So
Yeah, go figure when you give him opportunity.
yeah, so you can be united, but also educate them. Like
Yeah.
these, like when Berg's come on, he came with all the narratives. Oh, you're too old. You're gonna fall off a cliff. And by the end of it, he was like, oh, okay. Same with Lucas when he comes on.
Mm.
Because
Well,
they
I
just
asked
they don't
Chaz
know.
that. I said, "Who's our old players?" I said, "Who are they?" He goes, "Yeah, who? Name them. I said, "Well, there's 3." Like, it's like,
Yeah, and then he was trying. Who was it? He tried to say Maynard was one of our older players. too,
Maynard,
like-
how old's he? 30?
Yeah.
Oh.
do you know what's really funny? All these young players that North apparently have, I was trying to make the point that they're all like 26 now.
Yeah. I wouldn't be
failing
surprised
so long.
if
They've
you took-
actually gotten old together, failing.
Yep.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be correct if we took out the 3 really old boys? I reckon our team would be younger than them.
I don't know about younger, but I know we fall to about mid-table for this
Yeah.
profile. So yeah,
So
it's
Nick
heavily
Larkey's got to be
skewed.
26, right? 27. Nick Larkey's 27. There you go.
Is he?
Mm.
Yeah, they're not like the baby Roos anymore. They're the. So Dylan Stevens, Bailey Scott are 25. So they've got some good 20, 21-year-olds, but they're not like a group of kids like that are, 20 or 19. They've been down the bottom for a while now.
Yeah, well, it's been how many years under Clarko already?
3?
3 years. Yeah.
Then there was that other guy, Noble. And then in their infinite wisdom, they decided to make Reece Shaw their coach.
Oh, that was sad, wasn't it? I felt sorry for Reece Shaw.
Yeah.
He was out of his depth, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Jump on Lucas if you want.
Well, Zerha's older too. Zerha's like 27 as well.
I was expecting more of a fight back on Zerha, actually. The fact that they were actually agreeing that he was a poor man's stringer, I'm like, okay, cool. That was one of the, I thought that would have rolled them up a fair bit, but the fact that they actually agree with it, I'm like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that.
Better than
They
2-3
went out and
years
got
ago when
Cameron.
they used to compare him to DeGoey. Fucking hell.
Yeah. That's true.
Well, Jai Simpkins old too. Well, old by their standards, he's pushing 30.
Yeah.
And we wanted him for some reason.
I don't know if we really did. I think he wanted to come to Collingwood.
No, I think it was because we actually needed we needed an inside mid at that point. And I think it came down to the fact that, okay, this is the best that we're going to get in the trade period. So we were sort of like, okay, we'll get it if the price is right, but we're not going to. Because I think the report was we wanted to get him for a second-round pick. And because North was so hell-bent on 2 first-round picks, and I don't think they budged from that. And because we're just like, okay, that's just way overs. It's just not going to happen. And then I think it got down to like the last day, and I think they just wanted our first-round pick. And then we still said no. And rightfully so. If we gave our first-round pick for him, that would have been so terrible.
Yeah,
And thank God for O'Brien to go pick up Anderson in the draft.
He's an okay player. He's not going to move the needle for Collingwood.
No.
And
Who's that?
Swallowing we picked up too.
Jai Simpkin.
No way. I'm glad we didn't get him.
No.
Just someone taking in another bloke who cruise along, taking someone's spot. All right, let's welcome Lucas. Hey, Lucas.
Hello, Matt. How you doing? How's everybody else going?
Pretty good.
Good, mate.
Hey, Lucas.
Did you listen to those North boys?
I did, yes. I don't remember saying anything bad about Collingwood while I've been on the show.
No. I said that we've
No.
educated you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I said when we get Oppo fans on here, we tend to educate them, and they come out a lot less ignorant about the club when they've spent a few streams with us. So
No, that's well, like I said, I know a lot more, a hell of a lot more about Collingwood thanks to you guys now. So that's what we want, isn't it?
yeah.
Well, I reckon it's going so well for you, so much so I think you're actually becoming Collingwood supporter. You know, the fact that
I've been saying that.
Yeah, I mean the fact that you literally said "we" the other week. You know,
Yeah.
in terms of the Collingwood context,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna forget that. every time, because that's the thing. Like when you said that, my ears perked up so fucking quick. Because I called you out. I remember calling you out on it like straight away. Oh, we? Who's
Yeah,
we?
you did.
Welcome to the Collingwood Zone, Lucas.
It must have really pissed Lucas off to hear those North supporters bashing his team like that.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, what are we
Okay,
thinking
H.
about the game?
Good night,
What
mate.
are we thinking about the game? Should be an easy win, yeah?
Oh, I don't know.
No,
I don't
I don't
know.
think easy wins
I don't
exist
know
in
about
Collingwood.
that.
I think it'll be a 4-goal win.
Never. Yeah.
No, I did my tipping show. I picked you guys. I said no, you should win comfortably. So
Yeah, we should win, but that's the thing. Like, there's just so much bullshit going on with like the narratives around the club. I mean, just the club in general. Like, you know, it's just hard to predict anything. You know, I mean, even Jacob Ryan doing the training run, captain's run, today. You know, I mean, it would have been so good if he played this week.
Yeah.
Which I don't like. You know, I don't know about you guys, but is that even though he's not playing this week, is that like a sign that maybe he might play in a month's time?
He'll
So
be an
in, like,
emergency
3-4
in a month's
weeks?
time, maybe.
Yeah.
There's steps you've got to take. Take the steps, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Like you can't take the elevator into selection. That's for guys like
Yeah.
you know Ned Long and Tim Membry and all those guys. Those guys can take the elevator, but Jacob Ryan's got to take the steps.
we need to get a couple of games into him to see what he can do, and he could possibly be part of. He either stays on and we say, yeah, we're welcome to keep him. He showed a bit, or he's part of a Butters deal because he's a South Australian.
Yeah. I just don't understand the narrative that we have to be so like against playing him because like I think Age said it the other week that he got a game 3 years ago and he hasn't had an opportunity since, you know, and this was even before Houston. This was I mean obviously with someone like Noble, he was in the side, but again we had Noble in the side that was like turning it over like every single week. Markov wasn't like, you know, a sure bet when it come to, you know, a spot in the side in terms of like, you know, you wouldn't put any job security around him. Again, like what's so wrong with giving him 4, 5, 6 games? You know, like we're not asking him to be in the best 23, but like, you know, and even if you get a run of, you know, there's at least in one point in the season where you got say 4 games in a row where it'll all be against say bottom 6 teams. Just make him play those games and go, okay, here you go, kid. You've had 10 weeks in the VFL, so you've got some, you know, some form under you. You've got the 4 out of the 6 bottom teams. Have a crack and let's just see how you go.
Yep.
But yeah, we just don't. Yeah.
It's all right, Shawnee. We're just got to really. I mean, I already wanted to win, but now I really want to fucking win because of those guys.
Stick it up.
Absolutely, I'm
You know
fired up.
what?
It was
You know
such a
what?
it's such a
I'm
meh
actually-
game.
I'm actually kind of maybe I'm just weird for this. I kind of there's a part of me that kind of wants to lose because I just want to see how far they go in terms of their shit talk. Like I just want to see, I just want to see how far, how low can they go with their shit talk?
Can I be honest, Sean? If you win, it'll be even funnier because that's when the logic will stretch and bend and twist. And because even if we win tomorrow, but well, you should have won anyway because we're shit.
Yeah.
Look at
Imagine
this.
getting by North fucking
Look at this cup. You didn't get a gold one.
Fucking hell. Imagine getting got sledged by North fan. You're kidding me, right? It's I've gone mad.
I tell you what
Bloody
though, I tell you what though, North seems to be the only team, and I went to a game. Oh, was it the Charlie West debut game? Someone debuted. I think it was the Charlie West debut game. It was at Marvel, and like when I went to that game, I did not know North Melbourne had such a hatred for Dacos, because I was sitting second level. Was it? No, it was behind the goals. But yeah, second level behind the goals, and like the amount of just venom that came out of like the North supporters' mouths after going after Dacos. I mean, there was a thing at one point where like Dacos had his head ripped off, and they're all going, "Oh, the AFL's favorite child," and just going like, and some of it was even like personal insults too, and I'm like, because in terms of that, like I have seen like a lot of shit on like social media when it comes like Dacos, but I don't know, North just take it a whole nother level. Like I just don't understand like, but it feels like it even feels personal when they do it. It's so weird.
I know. Better watch out for Sheasel because, like, he's apparently.
No, that's it. I was going to say that.
Yeah,
Sheasel.
Well, it's Sheasel, and it's also because of Boomer as well, because of the Boomer record.
Player, remember?
Yeah. Oh man.
Sheasel just collects the ball at halfback the whole game, right? Dacos is,
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I'm not one to compare players, right? I don't care. Like, you can't really compare players, but you also can't make ridiculous statements like that.
Yeah. Oh, and the fact they were claiming that Dacos doesn't get a contested ball, but apparently Sheasel does.
Oh yeah.
Sheasel. I don't think Sheasel's ever. I mean, I'm not even being critical. I think Sheasel's an amazing player, but he doesn't touch a contested football. He actually does what Dacos did kind of in his first year, except Sheasel's still doing it.
Yeah.
Ace ball user though, like I wouldn't say no to having him. And that's the thing when we pick on players, like we'd all have them.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was really funny because it was like, first it was like, what have you done lately, 2023? Oh, yeah, but what have you done in ancient times?
Yeah.
And what about when he was talking about the premierships? Oh, we won one in 1996. Oh, how many of you won? Really? We've won 16. How many of you won North Melbourne?
That was literally like my response. It's like, oh, how many of you won? 16. Like,
I didn't know what he was talking about. He was pointing at that thing, and I said, "Where's
he was
that
talking
from?"
about the picture in the background, and he was saying the picture in the background is, "Oh, you don't have that."
But I said, "Is that from Copper Art?" I said, "Is that what is that?"
Yeah.
You guys probably don't know what Copper Art. Remember Copper Art? But that was like where you bought all sorts of cheap gold-plated junk because we were Italian, right?
That's what I thought it was.
All my family and the extended family all loved Copper Art. I used to have all this gaudy shit throughout the house that looked like it cost hundreds of dollars and it cost about $2.
Yeah.
Oh God, it was hilarious. But I actually thought they were good value. If Mick can find Oppo supporters like that each week, it'll actually get the streams will be like on fire.
No,
exactly.
When you've got good like yourself, Lucas. We had Bergs, and that other Richmond mate that Mick's mate, and it's really because you get a bit. We obviously tell the same stories over and over when we're talking about Collingwood.
Yeah.
When you get the Oppo fans in, you get a different perspective, and it's different when you talk about Collingwood. Like you said, Void, it's always different when you defending the club to opposition fans. You do it a different way, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's that's why I'm really keen to try the opposition fans night. And Bergs is on board for next week as well. So I didn't really push it because my chat GPT is not working. I couldn't get a thumbnail made. So still waiting for that, but I'll use a
Is
different
Rocco
platform.
coming
But anyway,
on next week?
yeah.
To mix. That would be funny.
Yeah. Getting a Carlton, because we've got Carlton next week, haven't we?
Yeah.
Is it next week?
Yeah.
This season's gone so quick.
Yeah.
He'll get on and he'll be like, I don't think you guys are gonna beat her. We're on a 7-game winning streak, mate.
Now, you guys just don't know. Oh, now we've got Josh Fraser. Right? What's going to happen is doesn't matter whether he takes the job or someone else comes in. That's it now. We've shown what we can do.
Oh.
Yeah, so let's talk about Collingwood. What do you reckon, Manny? Oh well, the side, the Collingwood team, they're doing really well with Coach Lee Matthews and Captain Tony Shaw, and I think we're a good young side out there, and President Alan McAllister, Alan McAllister, he's doing great job, and
and side is in that old form.
That'll write something in. Like, I didn't watch the game. I heard about I heard about the game from a neighbour who told me the score, and then after I looked at the score, I watched 45 seconds of the replay, and side bottom looked pretty good.
Been on the show before, Manny?
This is a different Manny.
Mm-hmm.
This is
He's
not
on the
our
jumper
Manny.
punch,
This is
this
a
Manny.
jumper. Is it made of?
I
Is it
know
made of
what you're
Rocco's?
talking about. Yeah, has he been on this show before? The Jumper Punch, Manny?
I think he has a couple of years ago. Chris, you were telling me about that, weren't you?
No, yeah. He was, our Manny was on the jumper punch.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well,
When they were losing one night, because I fall asleep to these streams, right? And one night I made the mistake of putting Jumper Punch on, just really low in the background, and of course they're cracking the shits every 10 minutes, so it kept waking me up.
Yeah. See, that's why our streams are good, because get blokes like yourself on and Age, and it's just like not monotone, but just not too up and down like that. It's there's no sort of Frank Costanza type fucking just getting all talking violently all of a sudden, which I just did then. But
Carlton are a very Frank Costanza team.
Yes.
They're such a Festivus team. You know why
they've won 7 in a row.
they're the type of team that have to make up their own holiday, because they can't oh gosh.
They did that. They did that in round one, Void, and then they cancelled their plans, and now they're booking tickets for grand finals on this streak they're going on. So in a way, they've done that.
Oh, absolutely, because they won that practice game.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They bet us. Yeah, in that practice. Yeah, they smashed us.
Well, so did North beat us in that practice game. So that was brought up too before.
But geez, if they beat Hawthorn, fucking hell, they can't stop. They can't be stopped.
I don't think they will. I think
Can't decide if I want them to or not. Do we want to play an unbeaten Carlton or a beaten Carlton?
Or a beaten Carlton, for sure.
Well, surely Hawthorn will end this streak. Surely.
Would be
Well, they
nice to
should.
be the team. I think it would be nice if we backed ourselves in and said, "Oh, let's be the team that ends their streak."
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Hawthorn. I think Hawthorn might lose to them.
Oh, if Hawthorn are serious, they'll win that game.
I agree.
Yeah, jeez.
They're the team we think they are. They should win they should win. Period.
They should.
What's it been
Non-stop.
like on
I'm with it.
TJP this week with the game? How are they talking like they're going to win or?
No, they're talking like they're going to smash them. Of course they're going to. Of course they spoke like that.
Yeah, the
Won
world's
7 in a
really
row.
upside down when Carlton's up and about. There's just something that just doesn't feel right. Kind of like COVID.
Yeah.
They haven't won a flag since '94, so well against us, but they haven't done anything since. So yeah, when they're up and about, yeah, the world does tip upside down.
When they're up and
Yeah,
about, check
go.
for volcanoes or Krakatoa or whatever you got to check for. But the world, there's an imbalance in the universe.
Yeah.
If Carlton's up and about,
Yeah.
I'm worried about the butterfly effect it might have.
Yeah, they become the most annoying people in the world.
Oh,
Doesn't matter
Lord.
what happened or who coaches them. Eventually, their off-field back rooms are going to get them.
Yes.
The wheels
Yes.
will always fall off. And that's why I reckon I'm hopeful, but I also think it's realistic. Is that's why Fraser won't want to stay there. He'll know.
Nah.
He's getting
No.
himself a nice little resume, and there'll be like 4 or 5 clubs that would look to take him in the next couple of years. So why would you choose Carlton?
Yeah, I'd take him.
He's no dummy. He's no dummy,
Yeah.
Phrase. He's a smart guy, and
Yeah.
if you watch his interview with Dill from Dill and Friends, you know, never really appreciated how he's pretty cerebral kind of guy too.
He speaks well. I'd love to have him as assistant coach next year. Get rid of Buckley.
You really hate Buckley that much?
I thought he was fucking great until he put Max Holmes to half back. That's just lost me. That's just fucking stupid. I'll tell you
Essendon
what.
Well, that's
Essendon
he did that
after
with
that.
Chris. That's actually probably where he actually got the idea from, because he did it with because I think we got Crisp in whatever year it was, 2015, and he thought it'd be a smart idea to throw him down back.
Well, he's
But
fucked the
mind
top
you,
10
Chris,
midfielder. Huh?
yeah. But in saying that, Chris did actually do a really good job down back in the end. It took him a while to adjust. Like I reckon he was poor for about 2 seasons playing down back, but then once he hit his stride in that 3rd season as a defender, that's when he came into his own. And I think he won the best and fairest, or when he started winning those best and fairest, that was after his 3rd year in defence. From memory, I could be wrong on that, but sounds about right.
The Bombers contacted Buckley to meet with them, and he turned him down.
Awesome. I loved hearing that.
Yes.
Bucks is open. Bucks has gone with a big nah.
With
Tell
him,
you what,
his sights are only set on Tassie, and I don't know what he'll do if he misses out on the Tassie job. I wonder if he'll stay on at Geelong or what he'll do.
God, I hope not.
Who would want the Tassie job apart from the money?
No one. It's not
because that's it. That's Bucks. That's Bucks sailing off into the sunset. He takes that job. He'll have it for the first 5 years. They'll be shit, and he'll get sacked, and then that's it. He'll be just a shit coach. He'll be just known as a shit coach. I think he could be a good coach second time around. Why would you go to the Gold Coast?
Yeah, because the reason I think it's sought after is because there's no pressure for the first 5 years.
Yeah,
like you're expected to lose, right? I don't know if Bucks struggles with the idea of going to a club where he's expected to win.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's a good point. You might be right.
No, I don't think he'd. I think he'd hate that because you're going there to rebuild. So it's almost like a rebuild, almost. I don't think Bucks has got that in him. Because he didn't rebuild with Collingwood, did he? You guys were around the 8 mark, weren't you?
No.
When he came
No,
Oh,
he took
he's-
over a premiership side.
Yeah.
He
Absolutely.
dismantled, then rebuilt. Like so, he did rebuild, but after he broke it.
Yeah, so he's not. So he hasn't taken a team from bottom to top, and I don't think he's that kind of coach. I don't really think it'd work. Like, in my opinion, I think the best coach available for Tasmania is Ken Hinkley. Because he's done it with Port Adelaide.
He's the front runner at the moment. Ahead of Bucks has actually slipped down the pecking order a little bit.
I'd go with Ken.
Right.
Like, Adelaide, they were on their knees when Ken Hinkley came in. They're about to be folded. Port Adelaide. Ken Hinkley came in, played finals their first year, turned them into a top 4 powerhouse. Sure, he didn't get them over the prelim line, but I'd go with Ken Hinkley. He's done that rebuild.
Yeah, I
They
reckon
might
they
just
will.
do that.
Yeah, I don't. I've got a feeling that's who they'll end up picking anyway.
Do
Just
you reckon
sad.
it's already like
Someone-
locked in, or it's been locked in for a fair while? So unless if someone drastically changed their direction, like it sort of always has been Buckley, or do you think they've kept an open mind to it?
Yeah, good question. I think he was
I
the
think-
favourite early on, and I
Yeah.
don't know if these other coaches coming onto the market. My question is, what is Buckley, if he doesn't get the job, is he still going to be an assistant coach, or is he going to give up? Did he just become an assistant coach to sort of get back into it for the Tassie job, or is he actually interested in staying an assistant coach, even if he doesn't get it? Because it just isn't clear to me whether he's doing it for an ulterior purpose, you know?
No, I think so. Geelong didn't choose him. He kind of went to Geelong and said, "Oh, would you mind having me there?" So Geelong never really got him. And Chris Scott said, "Oh yeah, we would love to have Buckley there. That'd be fantastic." So it was kind of, well, we chose you, but you didn't choose us, kind of thing. So, if he doesn't get Tasmania, I think he'll stay on. And I think he'll stay around for two couple of years to see what Chris Scott does. If the pressure gets to Chris Scott, if they have a slide down Geelong, I think Buckley would take over. I think he'd be the front runner.
Did he though, Josh? Melbourne wanted Buckley, but he turned him down last year. He said he didn't
Was
think
it
the
Melbourne?
I tell you what, wouldn't Melbourne be thanking God they didn't get Buckley?
Oh, for sure.
And
That hurts. That does. So I wish we kept Stephen King, but you have to do what you have to do.
no, everyone would be happy. Melbourne would be happy that he didn't go there, and I reckon Bucks is happy that he didn't go there.
Yeah.
They needed a new coach with new ideas.
Yeah, I don't know where Bucks stands. Chris Scott gave James Hird a little drive-by this week in the in a presser.
Did he?
I think. I saw that. I saw that. I didn't like that. I thought, it's a bit rich coming from a guy that's only won one game in 5 weeks. But
He's probably going to bat for his brother a little bit.
Yes.
And
I think so too.
he basically said, "Look at me! I come to work and I'm starstruck. I've got Nathan Buckley here, and he's decided to basically do an apprenticeship to sort of pick up all the elements of the game that he's sort of missed in his time away from coaching." And he said, you can't just walk back into it. Basically, intimating that Hird hasn't really done an apprenticeship to sort of get his get up to speed, the way Bucks has.
Also as well, because the other thing that is kind of confusing me is that people are talking like Herd hasn't done anything coaching wise since the Essendon job. How long was he? And wasn't he an assistant at the Giants?
Yeah.
I could have
Yes.
sworn he was, or maybe Sydney, but it was like somewhere like that.
Right. Yeah, he was
So
there for
are we
years.
not acknowledging that as a factor, or in terms of him actually like doing something in terms of improving his game?
I think
And
he's an assistant at Port Melbourne as well.
I was going to say that. I was going to say, hasn't he worked with the VFL team? So there, yeah. So it's not like he's just dropped off the face of the earth and decided to come back. Like he's done coaching bits and pieces, and he's not there to be there for 1 year. He's not gonna. It's not like he's only going to be there for 1 year. You know, so he'll after a year or two, he'll get the terms of it. So
yeah. Yeah, I still like, because the other thing as well, I don't understand the whole why Essendon would want him. Because to me personally, if I was Essendon, that would be the last person I would want.
I think, in my opinion, I think Essendon when they feel a bit sorry for James Hird, because James Hird was kind of like the scapegoat. So I think they're trying to rewrite a wrong there, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true.
Look, I love Hirdy, and there's a part of me that would love to see it happen in a world where whatever took place before didn't happen. The thing is, for me, it's more the idea that I don't think it's healthy for any club to always go back to tradition and go back to favourite sons. I don't like it when we do it. And I just don't think it's healthy. And if you want to get out of the doldrums, I think you've got to get out of that mindset as a club.
Yeah.
It's not even about Hird specifically. Like, I actually think with all the coaches on the market, he's the one that wants it the most. He'll probably end up getting it. And then it'll be this big redemption story. And I bet you the funny thing is in half a year, no one will even talk about the controversy probably ever again. He'll you know what it's like when people rebrand and suddenly.
Was Scott Burns ever considered a coach at Collingwood before McCraig took over?
I think so.
Nah, Burns missed his chance. He went for a lot of jobs a few years back. He was always going for head coaching jobs, and it was just like one of those things where he didn't get a few of them.
Yeah.
But he was really sought after at one particular time, and then he missed out on a few, and then just sort of no one talked about him anymore.
What's he doing now?
He's at Adelaide.
Adelaide. Yeah.
Assistant
He's
coach,
actually been there for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
reckon
not
if he
everybody
stays-
can be a senior coach either, you know.
No.
Do we think there's a possibility that Fly could actually end his coaching career early? Because I think he's
fucking hope so.
Yeah,
Me
I mean,
too.
like we hope so, but like, yeah. It's funny how like Lucas is laughing at this, but like, yeah. But no, but like in terms of him going, like I do honestly want him to go, because I just think with the way that he has, especially with the way he's like looked after the younger guys, it's just not been good.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of just looking at it from a point of view of like, what's like the earliest we could sort of see him go, but from like a realistic standpoint.
End of next year.
Yeah. But then also, what would it take though? Would it,
I think
if we sort of make the wild card and lose and then not make finals next year, would that be the end of it?
I think we're stuck with him for fucking years, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, because if you look at the previous coaches, like what's our shortest coaching tenure? You probably have to go back to Tony Shaw. And that was only because of Eddie. Like Eddie kicked him out in the end because Eddie was like, "Hey, if you don't want to be here, piss off."
See, what the wild card round doesn't help. It probably gets as far as the coach leaving, it doesn't help. Like it gets the coach to stay longer because everyone wants to play finals, and now the AFL say, "Oh, the wild card's finals." Yeah, bullshit. So him making just a wild card is classed as finals, so he'll get a pass Because
Yep.
if he's making wildcard every year, the club will say, "Oh well, at least he's making finals. What more do you want?"
Yeah.
I'll be the contrary view. I actually do like him, despite the criticisms like I have. I do like him as that coach. I think
It can.
Oh, no.
I mean, I'll say this: it can turn around, but like it would have to be such a change in the decisions he has made. So yeah, and yeah, I guess it is true. Like he can be a good coach, but it's just a lot of the decisions that have been made in the past. Sorry, when I say past, I mean like this season especially. It's just not good enough. Like it's just but I just don't see it improving. You know,
Void, what do you like about him? Sorry to cut you off there, Sean.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Keep going.
I
knew
just
this
think
was
he's
coming.
No, I think that he, aside from the issues I've had with selection and not playing enough kids, like that's well noted. And I outside of that, I think the system he's created there is actually very, very successful. I think that he's good with the players. I think they play for him. And I think that he hasn't, I don't think we've had, I know Sean really he's rated our side as a top 4 side. I've never thought of us as a really like super talented side in the time that McRae's been there. I think I always judge a decent coach on being able to get a team to be competitive who isn't a superstar team. I don't think we're a superstar team. I think we've got a lot of very, very good players and a couple of amazing players. But the fact that he's gotten us up there with Brisbane's and the Geelongs, who I do think have pretty good players of calibre that we don't have, more parts of the ground. Yeah, I just think that it's my biggest issue with him. I want to get these older guys out and I want to see what he does with the next batch of players. That's what I'm really curious about, because since he's been there, we've had the sort of the he's still working with part of Buck's list, and these guys are still hanging around. I want to see what he does once the list is completely turned over and it's pretty much like his list from the jump. That's what I think's been holding him back all this time. It's these older guys. I want to see what he does with selection once these champions are no longer around, for it to tempt him into always picking them all the time, you know.
But also as well, because in terms of this, because I always look back to the Sydney game, in terms of like a good template of like what our future can be, and the reason why I'm so positive on that Sydney game was because yes, we played well, but we didn't like play out of our skins. So it wasn't like we played this like Hall of Fame is probably a poor choice of words, but like, you know, this like what's the basketball team? The Globetrotters. It wasn't like this Globetrotter like sort of performance where like everything's amazing and everything everything oozes talent, but like we just had guys that just had a crack, and like again, if Oscar Steen doesn't go down, we win that game. And that's beating Sydney, you know, pretty much at their best. So the fact that it didn't come across as this like game where like we literally got every bit of juice out of the orange or the fruit or whatever, that to me goes, okay, well we can do more. This isn't just some one-off sort of Christmas game that, you know, where like you wake up and, you know, everything's amazing and everything's incredible. So I just think that this team has so much more to give, but we just haven't done it consistently enough. And I just don't. Yeah,
I just want to quickly throw in a little analogy just to explain. When I criticize him, I feel like it's like I'm criticizing a family member. It's like you've got a weird uncle or something, and you don't dislike them, but they can kind of annoy you sometimes. So it's not vitriol. It's not like there's no enmity when I'm when I'm annoyed with him. It's more like rolling your eyes, and then. But then I still, at the end of the day, I still love him, even though, he gives me the shits.
Yeah, I mean, like I can understand that point of view for sure.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just coming from a point of view of like, I guess maybe with me, I look at it in a weird way. I kind of look at it as if it's a job, and I'm looking at it from like a boss's point of view of like
KPIs.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, we're like winning, we're losing, but how are we winning? How are we losing?
Yeah.
And it's when you're seeing performances where it's like, damn, we could have got more squeeze at more juice out of the lemon, or if we'd given this guy a crack, it wouldn't have done much overall. But for that individual player, that could have made their season, or that could have made their careers even. And I know I keep talking about it, and I'm gonna keep banging that drum. But again, like having to give games to someone like a Jacob Ryan to have him play, the fact that he's gonna scratch tooth and nail for every possession he gets, that already to me shows me that he's gonna somewhat play a better quality game than someone like Houston. Because yes, Houston's very talented. I would never take that away from him. But the fact that he is so like lazy and he doesn't, do the little things in defense, which he's a defender. He needs to defend to some point. Even someone like Josh Dacos, why are we having him as a defender when he doesn't have a defensive bone in his body? Because I know at the end of the day, the answer is, but he's a really good kick and he can hit targets and he can do this, he can do all these things by foot. Okay, that's an answer, but it's not, in my opinion, it's not a good enough answer.
Yeah.
I was the same with Bucks.
Yeah.
I didn't want Bucks out. Like when he was sacked, I was actually devastated because I've always felt like a kinship with the coaches we've had since I've been alive. I've never, even when they're at the end, like Lee Matthews, I've never had that overwhelming feeling like the way Carlton supporters trying to get rid of their coaches. For me, it's like I'm with the coach till they're out of the club. It's never felt like we've had a coach that just had to be kicked out. It was that bad. Feels like their time's up, and then it kind of organically ends when they're, it doesn't ever feel like I wouldn't want to be like an Essendon supporter or a Carlton supporter who are cracking the shits and they want to like turf people out of the club. That's what for me, it's like I like that we're civil. Like we sort of knew it was Bucks' time. I was a bit in denial. I thought, maybe if they bring in some. When Righty was doing the review, I was like, maybe they'll bring in some other people around him and they'll revivify things. Probably just couldn't accept the fact that Champion was going to be like shown the door.
Yeah. I think just to touch on that though, I think he lost the players, and I think that's what got him kicked out. It wasn't because of him, and I didn't really rate his coaching, but the fact that he was poorly, was coaching poorly. I don't think that was what lost him the job. I think the players, because that was when the 2020 trade period happened. I felt like that was like the beginning of the end for him, and that was like, because once you lose the players, that's it. Like your career's done as a coach at that club, at least.
Great.
So I think once that was done, it sort of even like, I don't know too much about the situation, but over at Melbourne with like Simon the coach Goodwin, that's it. The fact that he got he ended up losing his job. He didn't lose his job because he was necessarily like a bad coach, but he'd obviously lost so much trust within that playing group. That's what got him kicked out.
He was stubborn as well. There's a lot of parallels to Fly. It's just a year on. Wouldn't change. He was set in his ways, and that's the problem with Fly. He's just too set in his ways with selection and how he uses players on the field and his tactics. Yep. They're the main things, and
they're all valid.
The fans are really starting to turn. on social media, I've noticed that it's always been 80% in favour of Fly, and I've seen it now. It's about 50-50. Probably maybe swinging actually out of his favour, 60-40 against just mainly about selection. That's really pissing people off.
That's my main criticism of him. It's outside of selection. I actually think, in terms of his relationship with the players, tick.
I'd agree with that.
He always has a pretty good game plan for the opposition. I wish we would win by a little bit more often, and didn't try to. It annoys me when we ice games, especially when we ice them when there's 40 minutes left. But yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Hello,
Matt.
Lucas. 1 sec. I just want to say hello to Anthony. He's been sitting there patiently.
Good day,
Anthony.
Hey guys.
A
Anthony.
bit hard to
Hey
get a
Chris,
word
how you
in,
going? All good, all good.
Anything you want to add to the topic?
Look, all the time I've kind of thought that I haven't known whether Fly is a long-term thing for us or is more like a little short-term fix. But seeing him sign on for 2 years, I reckon he'll have one last crack at this list. He might bring in Neil, he might bring in Butters, but then I do think that he has a child. I think he has 2 children now. I reckon Skipworth, if he doesn't get a job at Essendon, I reckon Skipworth might be somewhere involved as well. So, but right now, I think he'll have a crack with this list, and like Void said, I want to see him actually build the list from the top down, as he was gifted a bit. You know, he had Nick Dacos, he had Bucks's game plan sort of instilled in them. So I don't believe he's been challenged yet. So I think once we really hit the bottom, I think that's when we'll know how good he actually is. I think he had a lot in favour. But yeah, like honestly, all the points you've raised, I agree with Void. So all of them are on point. So yeah, there's not a lot more to add really. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to just approach it rationally. Like I was listening to Simo talk, and he said a lot of pretty much echoed what I thought. And I know Simo watches all the games pretty closely, and he really he thinks our coach is keeping our list very competitive. But he did criticise, the only thing he sort of criticised about Fly, which is the same thing we all criticised. He said they probably should have won 2 extra games this year that they fucked around with the management of Pendles for his milestone. He said, doesn't sit right with me that Pendles was, missing Sydney and Hawthorn and playing against Essendon and West Coast.
Yep.
And that's what I agree with. I think that was so poorly handled by the entire club. But he said outside of that, he thinks that he loves his system. He thinks because he said he's a very system-based coach. And I'm glad we do have a system-based coach. I'd hate to have a coach that just has us go out there without a game plan, the way, Bulldogs play. I'm glad we've got some relative control over our wins and our losses. Like there's not a big gap between the two. Frustratingly for us supporters, we want to win by more and stop these freaking close games that are giving us all.
It's Fly wants them.
See, I would be disappointed if I knew for sure that that's really what he was doing. I'd be really disappointed.
He said that. He said that in a press conference.
Yeah, he has actually said it
out. He blurted it out that he wants close games, and that everyone wants it. Like, that's what everyone wants. I love close games.
Yeah. He used to always say like, "Oh, we're behind at 3/4 time. Yes, boys, let's go. Embrace it. Embrace the behind comeback. Come on." And like he probably gets a lot out of being behind. He probably uses that a lot to motivate them. So I kind of wonder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's also it's sorry to but
no. That's all
but
right.
in terms of the NBA, like I know I tend to use examples from other sports, but this is very on topic. As a Miami Heat fan, I normally tend to, and Lucas can even back me up on this. Eric Spoelstra basically does the same thing, and I think it's as much as much as it can be a good thing, because I think the best way you can develop and the best way you can train is literally in the game. So if you can manipulate the game to where you can train for those pressures, I think is a good thing. But
Yeah.
the fact that we're doing it every week, it's like, is this really something like? Again, I don't mind it if it's like start of the season and it's like, say, the first 10 games. If you have, say, the first, I don't know, let's just say 6 out of 10 games, you win by under 2 goals. Cool, fine, whatever. That's sort of okay. But the fact that we're doing it, every week outside of maybe like 3 or 4 rounds, it's like, come on, like let's just be real about this, and let's actually, because again, like, and even with, I don't know if it's like across the board in the NBA as well, but there's, especially with the Heat and like Miami, I mean, obviously they tried, but like the first 3 quarters, it's always just like treading water the whole game, and then the fourth quarter, that's when it's like, okay, now let's do some tactics. Where it's like, maybe that's what like Flyers are doing as well. But at the same time, it's like we have this list that's very talented, and I just don't understand why. And I know this may not be what's actually happening, but it just feels like we're so against blowouts, and it's like, if anything, we should be for it, because it's, as much as it is that little bit of more energy that we're exerting, but it's the momentum, and then it's also the confidence to be like, hey, let's go and play. For all due respect to North Melbourne, they are, I think they're out of the bottom 6 at the moment, but let's just say, at the very least, for example, them last year being like a bottom 4, bottom 6 side. At least use that as an example of like, okay, guys, let's go hunting. Let's kill this team by 10 goals plus.
Yeah.
Because it's also a cultural thing. It's a mentality. It's a
100%.
Yeah. It's, let's put our nuts on the table and take the food off off the table too. Like, it's a this whole thing where, it's all about Fly trying to go to the media and saying how much of a nice guy he is. There's a part of me that's just like, can Fly just call someone a cunt at some point? Like, or just like,
We're always,
slap someone around, or just like, yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question though? What do you make of last year when we had that patch where we were really burying sides for a while, where we were winning by 50, 60 points most weeks?
I thought it was good. I thought that was like when we were playing like half decent football, and then, because especially what was it, round 14, that's when we sort of shut up shop. But that's the thing though. Again, it's like, you can shut up shop and have it be fine, but like, why couldn't we have gotten guys? Sorry, fucking English right now. But like, why couldn't we have like gone down the developmental route and sort of gotten your 6 games into your Ryans, your Oscar Steens? Because Oscar hadn't debuted at that point. You could have debuted an Oscar Steen in ahead of Cox. Because the fact that, and even if there is a thing where but the club didn't know that Cox was like on the out. Okay, but that's still incompetence from the club. If you couldn't see the writing on the wall for Cox, then like that should be an issue from the club. Like, we have a list of 45 guys, and I'm not saying to play all 45 guys, but you should be looking at playing, or you should at least have the intent to play 30 to 35 guys every year. Because you're going to have injuries, you're going to need to test the depth. I mean, there's even games we even got into Aiden Begg at times.
Sort of,
and again,
in the sense, do you think if he's coaching to sort of have close finishes, then last year he didn't seem to be doing that for the better part of 12, 13 rounds?
Nah, he isn't doing it on purpose. I feel like he actually wants us to win big, but I think his coaching is more around. I think he's more of an emotional based coach. So I think the way he gets performance out of the players is just inspiration, motivation. Trying to come back and get that chant going. I don't actually think Fly's made for that big one club, like that dynasty team, that tough mentality of we are the top club, we will smash you. I think he needs some emotional trigger to get the players involved. No, I don't know, like that's probably just how he coaches. He loves drawing on emotion and stuff like that. But on your point, I do think he wants us to win big, shown by last year. But I just think that he hasn't shown us yet that apart from that emotional side that helps us get going, we haven't shown that killer instinct, to lead from the start and to stamp our authority on the comp. We're always chasing, like we're always behind, we're always trying to come back, or we're always the underdog, right? We're in Sydney, we're the underdog, playing the Swans, playing the Crows, playing the Dockers. We're just never that team who is the dominant team. So, yeah.
Because I'd argue last year, even when we were belting teams, I'd still argue the game style was very similar in terms of, like, there was, I think the Hawthorn game, the first one last year, we were up by 50-odd points at three-quarter time. But then we just sort of iced the last quarter, so we didn't go on with it. We just ended up sort of holding a 50-point lead.
Yeah.
So I think the game style's the same. What's changed is our team's not able to get ahead early anymore. So last year we were basically putting the game to bed by sometime halftime or the third quarter.
Yeah.
And obviously
it was different though, Void. When we were good last year in the first half of last year, it was a 4.5 game.
Yeah.
Very, very different. And then we just sort of it's like it wasn't us. So by the time the finals came around, we went back to sort of 2023 style.
Yep.
So we haven't been as good this year with the 4.5 pressure, which is we're sort of patchy with it. So that's why I think they're going back to the 20. It feels more comfortable when we're coming from the half back line and end stuff.
The only time I've ever seen us really go on with a game was the Anzac Day. That's the only, since he's taken over, that's the only time I've seen us just go on right till the final siren, still scoring. I'd love to see that. Yeah, what annoyed me last year because I mean I've got so many criticisms. I didn't like when I said to my dad when he said, "Oh, we've qualified," I said, "I don't like hearing that." I said he shouldn't say that.
No.
So that's just silly to put that out there. And if the players start thinking it, they're going to stop. They're going to take their foot off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he had a few things last year where I thought it took a little bit of the luster off him. Being that far ahead, where basically it was like, we're 3-4 games ahead at some point. And I actually thought, there's no way we can't finish first. I actually thought that myself. There's no way we can't finish first from here. We're that far ahead. We'd have to lose so many games in a row.
Yeah.
And we did.
Exactly what happened. Yeah.
And the other thing we've got to remember is around about the same time, it's when the Bobby Hill shit started.
Yeah.
That's true.
It coincided perfectly with that.
Yeah.
Because our game, a lot of other fans don't realise, our whole game plan was built around Bobby Hill. And it seems like a stupid thing to say that the game plan is built around one player, but we didn't have another player like him. And I really think they structured it around a Bobby Hill type. And then when he went down, we started to have to get Shooter and other people to do, and they weren't up to it. They weren't up to doing it. Then suddenly we couldn't really attack. Because Bobby would go out onto the open side and create a lot of our scoring opportunities. We just didn't have that speed. Yeah, that really fucked us, him doing what he did. They should have adapted quicker, though, rather than trying to get other people to play his role that weren't up to it.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was hesitation from the club though, because maybe they thought he was coming back at some point, and maybe that's probably why they probably didn't put a ton of time because they're like, oh, but if it's Bobby, he's just going to be back after a few weeks, and then once a few weeks became a few months, maybe that's what caught him off guard. And then when they sort of kicked into gear, it was like, oh damn, shit! It's been 3 months, and it's late August. We need to do something here. It's sort of maybe like too late.
It's like what I said to Matt
Where
the other
did-
night. Same thing with Darcy Moore. Same thing. If you think someone's might be back next week, and at least once you can put a line through them, you give Liam Puncher a game.
Yeah.
At least you know now we're moving on. Now he's no longer an
Yeah.
option.
Moore's
And that's
out.
what
That's it.
we just didn't have it,
Mhm.
and that's the problem when someone has this indefinite thing hanging over their head. Oh, will it be next week? Will it be 2 weeks? It's so derailed our season, and of course,
Yeah.
opposition supporters, they might. I mean, Adelaide still want to go on about Isaac fucking Rankin.
Also, as well, just with the Darcy Moore stuff, is that one of the best calls we've had all year? The fact that
Yes.
it is just because I'm thinking like in terms of because that would not have happened in the last in the last few years because you look at like 2024 when you had like Tom Mitchell and Jordan DeGoey, they end up starting the season, and I know that's probably a bit of a different scenario in a sense, but the fact that we were able just about more you're out, just focus on yourself, focus on whatever you need to do till day one of preseason. Your goal is to make sure that you are cherry ripe for day one of preseason, because it sort of seems like with the way they're taking it, it's like sort of in a sense where they're not really like they're sort of with him having all these injuries, instead of him just coming back and being injured more, it's like, okay, let's give you a break and let's sort of like revisit this, come 6 months time and you're and then come preseason and he's fully fit. I would much rather that and then play some like a Puncher or and that's not even just with Darcy, that's with like really anybody, especially when you have a kid that's like, damn, like if we could get like 5, 6, even 10 games into a kid, and you have a player in his position and they're under an injury cloud, just don't play them and play the kid, Like I've never really understood that.
You know what I mean, Sean? It's professional sport. You can't hold a spot for someone who's like, you can't say, "Oh, we'll just keep it warm for you, Darcy." It's like
no, but it's not. No, but I'm saying it's not necessarily keeping it warm. It's more being.
I mean, I'm agreeing with you. Like I'm saying, that's what they were doing. Like because he was always possibly an option. They just kind of didn't replace him. They just decided not to even put another key position player in his spot. Oh, let's just put Will Parker in, And we had this makeshift backline. I'm thinking, dude, we've got to win games today, not just when someone's ready to come back from injury.
Yeah.
You've got to win games right now. That's what I was annoyed at, Like, put a key defender in, put a like for like in.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes it is a relief when someone, like now that it's gone beyond the point of no return with Bobby, it's like a relief. It's like, at least now they can plan for life without him instead of just holding this little mental spot for him, because now we've got Will Hayes and now we've got Angry and now we've got Shooter together and you've got Harvey Harrison. It's like, finally, it's like you can move on from this. It's like a bad relationship. You got to move on from it.
Yeah, it's like it's literally trading out, a toxic, negative situation for a positive one. And the positive one may not be a better option, but it's in a way it is a better option because it's positive, if that makes any sense. So it may not be better from a talent point of view, but from a long-term perspective and prioritizing the development of the club, it's going to be better in the long run. And But again, it's also like making these moves where, yes, you're paying the price of, because having Darcy Moore not play in the best 23, regardless of how good or bad he has been, it is a price to pay for him not being in the best 23, because he is when he is fully fit, he's in the best 23. I don't think anyone can probably say anything otherwise to that if he's fully fit. But when it comes to it, like, you need to be like, okay, if he's out, we need to, or like if he's under this injury cloud, we need to have, obviously, like, pay. Obviously there's a price to pay, but as long as it's worth the money in terms of the price you pay, then we need to be doing those things as a football club. So again, Punch is like a perfect example. If he's performing to where he deserves a spot, and you got Darcy Moore that's under an injury cloud, okay, then play Puncher. If Healer's going off doing his thing, okay, you've got Will Hayes, you've got Harvey Harrison, you've got these guys. Okay, give them games so that they can get some experience in. Instead of
who's keeping out West? Like, who's the player that's keeping out West?
Memory.
Any
Memory.
of the key forwards. So like, I don't know. Yeah, any of the key forwards. So like McStay and probably Membry. I wouldn't say Buller, because Buller's a bit of a different key forward, but because Buller, he needs to be there for his height and for the fact that he does second ruck. Charlie West wouldn't. So if you're doing a like for like for Buller, West won't do things that Buller needs to do in a game. So that's not really a like for like. So it'd be like a Tim Membry or like a McStay. So those are the two. And because Membry is kicking 4 goals most weeks, I think, at least in recent times, and then you've got McStay, who's, he's been kicking his 2 or 3. Again, you can kind of see it, but it's like, and I guess that's fine to a certain point, but it is that thing of like, when the moment does come, we need to pull the trigger when a Tim Membry, say, not playing well, or a McStay is like, down in form. But also as well with West, especially his last 2-3 weeks in the VFL, he's shown he can be a centre half forward. So I think previously to that, I would have said that maybe him for McStay probably wouldn't have been that good of a like for like swap, but because he has been doing that centre half forward role in the VFL, I think McStay spots is, I don't know if it's up for grabs in terms of it'd be McStay out and West in, but he's at least putting his hand up for that spot if that spot opens up. So if McStay is, say, sore, that's when we should be going, okay, well, let's rest McStay for 2 weeks, give West 2 games, get him a bit of confidence, see how he goes. If he plays so well, okay, cool, we've got a key forward for the next 15 years. But then if he doesn't and McStay comes back, say, after 2 weeks because he's sore or whatever, okay, McStay comes back in. But it's, again, trying to, maximise the whole list, because there's 45 players and about 35 of them can probably play, or probably have a senior game and impact in some way. So it's a matter of, okay, if someone's not 100%, and when I say not 100%, I'm meaning like in terms of they're just not fit to play, don't play them. Play, guys that are in the VFL. And then once the players in the VFL are understanding, shit, I'm playing, so if I'm say Liam Puncher at the moment, obviously before his debut, if I'm seeing guys that are sort of, slowly getting a game here and then, it's like, oh, damn, I'm a chance. So if I play really well, Darcy Moore doesn't look that great, or Darcy Moore's had a really poor month in the AFL side. Damn, if he continues that form and I lift my game, I might get a game next week. Those are the thoughts you need to be putting into these guys' heads. Or even, someone like a Hayes. Like Hayes was in our best 23 for a few weeks at one point. So to get him to be in that position again, because I know this will be his second week back, leading into this week. So for him to get his second game back from his injury, he needs to be thinking the same thing. But also, Fly needs to be rewarding these guys when the opportunity is available. And to not just, but hey, someone like a Bo McCreary whose form hasn't been great the past however long. okay, let's actually throw you in the VFL. Let's even see if we can even trial you as a bit of a midfielder because you might have some explosive pace. We could turn you into something. Just trying to get as much juice out of the lemon as we can, and just to maximize all of the opportunities because there's plenty of opportunities we can capitalize on. But under Fly, it just seems like he's just such a safe bet type of operator, where this is our best 23. No ifs, ands, or buts. And if there's no injuries, there's no changes. Which is fine in theory, but it doesn't always work like that. There's always going to be injuries. There's always going to be form that's up and down. It's when you have AFL players that are hungry, but also VFL players that are hungry too. And then it all sort of works itself out. And then that's when you can make your choices here and there.
Well,
and then sort of figuring out, hey, like a Jacob Ryan's out of contract and he's super hungry. Fuck, let's give him a shot. Because if he's gonna scratch tooth and nail for an opportunity, he's probably gonna scratch tooth and nail for a fucking football that when he needs to put his head over it because he fucking wants a contract. So let's take advantage of that of those let's take advantage of that intent from these players.
Yeah. I just what we want to see, I think, Lucas, is Westy just needs to get a bit of consistency in the VFL. He's a little up and down in the VFL. He had a fantastic game 3 weeks ago that had my skin tingling.
Yeah.
Then he sort of had a quiet couple of weeks. I think if he could put together like a good 3-4 games, really like just finding that consistent level. And then the thing is too, like if we don't make if we're completely out of contention, I reckon Westy will just play regardless of form. He just start getting games. See, I think right now we're in that awkward spot where we still think we can win and we can contend for the time being. So they're picking players that are like going to get the job done at AFL level for the time being. Buller doesn't do a lot at AFL level, but when he does go back to the VFL, he usually has a big game, and in almost every game in the VFL is a pretty big one from Buller. At AFL level, he seems pretty like important to the structure, so I sort of forgive the fact that he doesn't seem to be doing a lot. But I think who was the other player? One of the others Sean mentioned. I was going to discuss.
Hayes.
Oh, was it
Puncher? Harrison?
Puncher. See, what I would like to see, Puncher does so well that then Darcy Moore is like, then the question's asked of him. Can you come in? You're not. There's no automatic person that we can just put out for you now. Now it's really a real selection dilemma. And I know Fly, he looked a bit annoyed at Darcy Moore in one of the presses a few weeks back. Because I think what was happening, Darcy was basically putting his hand up. I can play. I'm fit. And he kept going down in all these games. And at a certain point, I think Fly obviously trusted him when he was putting his hand up. And at a certain point, Fly said, no, next time he comes in, he's coming through the VFL, he said. He said it in a nicer way than I just said it, but that's what he basically said. He got frustrated, he got sick of him breaking down in games. And that's what I like to see. I like to see the fact that no, I'm just going to I'm not going to trust them all the time. I'm gonna make the calls sometimes. I think he does trust these fucking senior players a lot to come to him and to tell him, oh yeah, I'm right or I'm not right, And I don't think there's going to be many players. I mean, players probably lie to themselves too about whether they're right to go.
Oh, 100% they would. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And Darcy did it 2 or 3 times. Remember on Anzac Day, he put his hand up to play and Fly wouldn't let him play. So I think that he's been trying to get in, and now he's like, yeah. And it's like, no, we're putting a line through him. And it's like what Matt and I were talking about it the other night. If that was the only way that enabled us to go out and recruit another key back, the fact that they lost a bit of trust about whether he was going to be able to perform this year, then it's good. It's good because it got us a key back in the MSD, and now he's in the team, and now we actually look like we've got structure.
But also as well too, what was stopping more from even like doing that before the mid-season draft, having another pick, going and getting another key defender, and then getting like an athletic key, or I guess Puncher is an athletic key defender, but more depth in that department.
Yeah, I agree. We should have, but I'm just thinking of
Yeah.
how the coach's mind works. Is that
Yeah.
the player has to be completely out of player has to be like either injured or kind of unreliable, and then he'll
Yeah.
go get one. If that player is available to select, I think the temptation is just too high for him to keep the spot warm for Darcy Moore.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just good when there's a line through them, and at least the coach. It's like our coach is like going to like a restaurant where the menu's just too large.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just nice if the chef can come out from the back and go, well, we're out of this, and we're out of this, and we're out of this, so you can only order this.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, but that's what it feels like we have to do for selection, and even when it comes to list management spots at the end of the year. It's like, well, Fly, it's better not to have Cox. It's better not to have Tom Mitchell. It's better not to have these guys because you'll fucking pick that, when it comes to restaurant.
Will Hoskin
Because you'll
Elliott.
fucking pick that dish. Yeah, Hoskin Elliott. Because we know you'll pick that fucking dish. Yeah.
We had to take the Palmer off the menu, or Fly was going to just keep ordering it.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh man.
it's like that, and he'll go back to the restaurant like one day, and the guy says, "Listen, we're thinking of changing the menu, and we don't have that dish that you always order. Oh, but can you still get him to make it up for me? Nah, you got to order off the menu."
G'day, Cruz. Question: captain predictions for next season?
Has to be Nick.
It won't be more. That's my prediction.
No.
So, as much as I would like to give Bruzzy a couple of years, he's 30 now, and I think Dacos is ready. Bruz is our captain, or one of them, and he won't mind continuing to be the vice captain. Dacos is ready, and he's going to be a 10-year captain, or 7 or 8 years anyway, and that's what you want. If Bruzzy was 27, 28, give him 3 or 4 years. But the time to give Bruzzy the captaincy was in 2023.
Yeah.
But Moore got it because he's, a darling of the media and he's woke, and we all know that. And it would have been better if Pendles had kept it for a year or two and then given it to Bruzzy, and Moore probably would have been a better player. It just took too much pressure on him, I think.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. I think that's had a big impact.
I am. My current panelists might not be this way, but I am absolutely against co-captains, and I think Bruz and Nick would be. I think they'd say the other would get behind the other and say, "That's my captain," and I'll go to battle behind him and with him. That's my thoughts, and I think it dilutes the honour and the prestige of Collingwood captain to share it with someone, and there's no need to share it. I believe it wouldn't have too much of a detrimental effect, but it's tradition. It's only ever happened once in our history, and that was 110 years ago, and it was actually we had the captain, and Jock McCarr was a playing coach. So I think they just messed up the footy record for a couple of weeks. It was, that. But you boys have other thoughts on that, I believe. And
I don't know. I'm not particularly.
No, I don't.
I'm not strong on it either way. I think for me, I'd like to see both of them be captain. Whether it's if Nick's happy to wait a couple of years, I'd love Bros to be the captain for a couple of years.
Yep. It's one of their look. If they come out next week and say Bruz is now our captain, absolutely fine with it. Great, he'll be a great captain.
Yeah.
And Nick would be absolutely fine with it because Nick's only 22, isn't he? 22, 23?
23.
So, yeah. So Bruz has it for 2 years, and Nick takes over at 20 when he's 25. So either way, but it's one or the other for me.
Yeah, I think so. I think you've swayed me.
And Nick is so good in the media, but no agendas. He's just a good kid. He's so humble, but he's also very intelligent, and he's a footy nuffy. Loves Collingwood, famous Collingwood name, perfect. So and what an example he leads on the field. So
can you imagine Braz holding up the cup with Fly? That would be awesome.
Yeah, I would
Just
just
to
love
see.
to see either of them.
I'm just imagining the antics of Braz getting up on the podium.
If we win
Kind of-
a flag
kind
this
of
season, I reckon it'll be like Brisbane, and they'll have both Braz and Nick holding up a cup.
Yep, could see that. Could see that. That will probably happen, and I wouldn't have an issue with that. The one of them will be a captain on the day,
Yeah.
and who that is, I could equally go with either. But and one of them will be the premiership captain, but the other one will be up on the dice.
Yeah.
If we were to get that far, fuck.
It's just such a thing for me. Like,
Flag talk. Look at that.
watching
Grain of
Braz-
salt, big grain of salt there,
Yeah.
Anthony.
I don't know why we're so scared to have flag talk in conversation.
We need a couple of scalps, Sean.
I get
Get a
that,
couple of
but
scalps
at the
to
end of the
talk.
day, if we're not here to win flags, what are we here for?
Well,
You
as
know,
long as
like-
we're in it, we're gonna. The way we're talking, without saying, "Hey, we're gonna win the premiership," is that we did the ladder predictor. It's like we should win. We should win 5 out of the next 7 games, and that will get us into a home wild card game, or we'll be sitting. Best case scenario would be 6th. So waiting for to play one of the winners. So if it gets to that stage, then that's where we really should get to that level. I think it's unrealistic to think we're going to win 5 or 6 games.
But I'm talking
who
more
knows?
from an intent point of view, and if we're going to be making choices, it's more just like making the choice in terms of okay, what puts us closer to a flag? Does
Playing,
does playing Jacob Ryan in our best 23 this week, does that get us closer to a flag? Or
it doesn't.
Or,
It doesn't get us any further away from it.
yeah. And that's the thing. I feel like that's what the conversation should be about. Because if we're not here to win flags, what are we really here for? I know we all enjoy football, and it's a fantastic hobby to have each week. And regardless if we play, a top of the ladder team like say Freo, or if we play the bottom of the ladder team, which is I don't know, Essendon or something. It doesn't sort of matter who we play, but if we really got to dig deep down in terms of why we watch it and why we invest so much time and energy into it, it's because we all want to be successful and to win flags. So
Yeah.
I don't know. As a supporter, that's always my intent. Is okay, what's the move that's gonna, and even if it's because I do feel like sometimes a backward step can be the thing that you need to do in order to then win a flag, because that backward step is what enables you to then take 2 or 3 steps forward. So even though initially it might be a backward step, but playing a Jacob Ryan for say 10 games, sorry, not 10 games, but say 4 or 5 games. But if he stars in those 4 or 5 games and go, oh shit, we've got to play here.
We found one, yeah,
absolutely. That could be 100 to 150 gamer where you can be okay. We don't need to get a half backer in the draft, trade period, free agency, which, and I mean, in terms of also hot takes as well too. I reckon I would take a Houston. With Ryan, I would take Ryan over Houston at this point, because I know he's going to
any day,
scrap and fight
Probably at this stage.
everything that is coming his way. So
I'm worried about Houston. Like, don't want to change the subject too much, but I
Yeah.
could see him costing us a final.
Ooh.
I don't know if I'm necessarily. Yeah.
A minute for the flag too. The only thing is that it's more that if we banked a few more wins, then I would have. It's just that we've put ourselves in this position where we've left our run really, really late, and now I'll do it in increments. So instead of thinking of finals, because we're just kind of on the edge of even being in the finals right now. I just kind of go, okay, what's the first little sort of milestone? Okay, let's get a good scalp. Let's get a couple of good scalps, and then I'll revisit my expectations after that. I just want to lock in the finals first, and then I'll start thinking, how far can we go? Because look, we're not. What I think's probably lost on us this year, because we've played a bit frustrating at times, our form has actually been probably among the most consistent in the league. We've only really been belted twice. Outside of those games, I would say that our form is very consistent.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah,
I think our form's more consistent than Hawthorn's. Hawthorn goes up and down wildly. So when you're talking in terms of like system, I think that stacks up against any side. If we lose by a kick, then we can win by a kick.
Yeah.
That's why I like our chances. If we get there, we will actually trouble teams. We might not win, but I think teams would be a bit nervous playing Collingwood in a finals match.
They will also, other teams will also go, okay, when Collingwood gets on top of us and get a bit of momentum, do not panic, because they're going to put the Presti sign up when they get 3 or 4 goals up with 15 minutes to go, and there's our chance. They stop their own momentum, and we've got to just stop doing that. We've got to just go for it and gap the game. Then when we get 6 or 7 goals up, the team might be able. We might put the Presti sign up, but it's a lot harder for a side to come back from 37 points than it is from 17 points up. So that's one thing we've got to stop doing that.
Set shots. We like the Gold Coast game. That's not a coaching thing. That's just we had 6 more scoring shots than them. That game should have been 20, 25, 30 points. We did it in the grand final. With 12-18.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Nearly cost us a grand final.
Yeah.
That was a belting. That was a 9-goal win.
Yeah. We have to get 2. I think we need, if we can get 2 or 3 out of Crows, Geelong, Hawthorn, Brisbane. I think that should put us in 6th, if I'm correct.
Yep.
Which Crows, we normally do okay against them.
Did you see our ladder predictor, Anthony?
Yeah, I saw half of it. Yeah, half of it. So
we gave us wins against the Crows and the Cats. And
disagreement.
We had us losing against the Hawks and the Lions. But the Cats might be the hardest one to win, because that's going to be a final, because it's going to be an 8-point game. We're getting very close. So now that Geelong are falling down the ladder a bit and they're close to us on the ladder, that now becomes a harder game, because they'll be sort of scrapping to stay in the top 6, and we're scrapping to get in there. So it might turn out that we're more likely to win the Hawthorn game. I'm just so terrified of Hawthorn that I just have them as an automatic loss. But what if they play like they did against Melbourne? We could get them. So yeah, it's those 4 games. We win 2 of those, and assuming we can win the ones that we think are, the North, the Carlton, and the West Coast, then it comes down to those 4 big games. But we've just got to take.
You could ask Lucas, right? Even though Geelong have a pretty good record against us, I just know that when teams, this is what oppos think of Collingwood. We're going to have to fucking earn our win in this finals match. They're not going to let us have it easy. And that's usually the perception of us, is that they're going to have to really, really fight to get over the line.
5-day break.
Yeah. Crows have got a 6-day break. We're traveling. We're going to just have to manage a bunch of players and just have confidence with 3 or 4 changes, and that the guys that come in probably would have. So we'll manage people the week before, and we're going to manage people for this game. And got a lot of young talent in the side at the moment, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But yeah, the AFL has fucked us there, giving us that 5-day break. That's fucking tough. So,
well, tell you what, Matt. I'll tell you, he's becoming a bit like Craig McRae, and it's driving me nuts. So I know how you feel. That's Chris Scott.
Oh yeah,
he's starting to become a bit like Craig McRae with his selection.
Oh right.
Yes, especially with one Jeremy Cameron.
Oh.
So Jeremy Cameron picked a game, and Chris Scott in his press conference said, "Oh no, Jeremy Cameron's 100% ready to go." But last week he had nerve pain. The week before he had nerve pain. The week before he had nerve pain. But this week, all of a sudden, he's 100% and good to go. Chris Scott also said that when it comes to our veterans or our superstars, I will tend to give them a bit more leeway.
At least he admits it.
Yeah, true. So
how's he playing? He's got nerve pain, but is he performing?
He can't even take a mark. Should see last week he only had 2 touches. He couldn't take. He dropped 2 marks in that game. He could not. He can't lift his hands. His hands above his head.
4 disposals, 2 kicks, 2 handballs, 1 mark.
Yeah.
He's the lowest rated player on the ground.
That particular game, Chris Scott came out and said, "Oh, he was suffering a little bit from nerve pain, but he's good to go this week though." So, that game last week, he couldn't even put his hands over his head, and he was favouring. And you can tell if you watch Jeremy Cameron closely, the last 4 weeks, he when he tackles, when he marks, when he falls, he leans to one side. He avoids that arm.
God,
and you look at and you look at it and you think, how the fuck's he still playing? Like, are we going to carry this guy into a final campaign?
Yeah, so he kicked the game before. There was a bye before that, but when you played Freo, he kicked 2 goals, but he was still the lowest rated. I don't know this champion data, but he only had 6 disposals, but he did kick 2 goals.
Yeah. So because he's our centre half forward and he does a lot of wing play, that part of the game is getting so compromised because he can't mark a footy, he can't push up. So that part of the game with him, and he's elite at it. And when you take an elite skill from a player, they become obsolete, and he's just not getting those touches down the ground because he can't move his arm. He can't tackle. He's a good tackler as well. He brings full line pressure. He can't tackle, and he's becoming a liability.
He's got some serious issues there.
Well, he does. Well, another one that's got serious issues, but we're taking a completely different direction, which is even more annoying, is Brian Myers. Again, not selected this week.
Interesting.
Is it still the ACL awareness?
What? whatever that fucking either you fucking have got ACL or you haven't. But Chris Scott refuses to play him, but he'll play Jeremy Cameron. But also Chris Scott will say, "Oh no, Brian Myers is fine. You know, he's pushing for selection." But he's been saying that for the last 3 weeks.
Sorry, Lucas. I'm just finishing up a text to Bucks to saying mission accomplished. Is that what it says? Just joking.
Oh, come on.
The thing is, though, Jez was playing all right earlier in the year. So I wonder what's happened to him. Because he kicked 10 goals earlier in the year.
Yeah, there was an incident. I don't know what game it was. I think it might have been the Port game, where he got bumped off the ball. He got bumped fairly bumped on that shoulder. And since that bump, he's been feeling nerve pain, and apparently it's been that bad at times he can't even get out of bed.
Oh.
His partner has to help him out of bed.
Yeah, nerve pain's not good.
No.
So
Can be debilitating.
But there was one game a few weeks ago where he was absolutely horrible, dreadful in. And you look at him and think, he's fucking. He needs surgery. You need some kind of surgery. That's on the table. That's been on the table for 5-6 weeks. But Geelong won't do it because they believe that as long as they're in the finals race, as long as they're contending, they want their best players. But how Cameron's not our best. Cameron's not our best player right now. He's probably one of our worst players because he's been hampered by that injury. So I don't understand where Chris Scott plays him. But having said that, Chris Scott has said in his press conference that he's 100%, he's ready to go. But last 4 weeks he's got nerve pain, and the last 4 weeks you're not picking Brian Myers with this ACL awareness crap.
That just sounds made
every
up.
time you see, and when you see Brian Myers on the training track, he's doing laps. He's actually participating in full training, Brian Myers. So I don't understand.
Weird.
So he's becoming a bit like the Craig McRae now.
Yeah.
Is
So
it
weird.
is it then? So that in terms of because
He's not
more
like Craig
than
McRae, because we would never have a player like Jeremy Cameron even recruited to Collingwood. Lucas, we're still talking Jack Fuller, not Jeremy Cameron caliber players.
Quinton Lynch.
To respect Jack Fuller. Jack Fuller would probably be a better player than Jeremy Cameron right now, because at least Jack Fuller can compete. Jeremy Cameron can't compete anymore. But having said that, like I said, Chris Scott said he's 100% this week, so he trained down the house and he's ready to go. So we'll see that against the Giants. So hoping you kick 4 or 5. Because if he has another game where he can't mark the ball, that's just not good enough.
I've had neuralgia and stuff like that. Like, I've got a chronic thing most of my life. It's really difficult to manage because you don't know when it's going to come on. That really awful nerve pain. So there could be a situation with. Pardon?
Is it your back? Is it in your back, or where do you get the pain?
I actually just get it through my body, just from an inflammation issue.
Different parts of your body.
Yeah, that presses on nerves or in the hip and back area.
And
then it can go down the legs and down and up the arms and places like that. And the thing is, you can have really good days, but then wonder with Jeremy Cameron if it's constant or if it actually feels good throughout the week and then it just comes on spontaneously in a game and he thinks he's fit to play.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's happening in game day far too often now. It's becoming every game now that he's suffering from this nerve pain, but he's fine. Apparently he's fine during training and fine during the night before, according to Chris Scott.
Do you have another
Just
forward
always
in the VFL? Do you have a relief?
Yes, we do, but Chris Scott doesn't. Chris Scott won't play kids like that. So we've got a very good forward called Polkinghorn.
Oh yeah, I know that. I know him. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's doing really. He's had an injury the last. He's been out for 6 weeks. He had like a foot injury or something, but he's been playing the last 3, and he's been really, really good every time. Like when he's been playing this year, he's had really good games. Chris Scott won't play him, because like I said, we've got a young player in Wiltshire, but he's only playing because Stengel's gone missing. If Stengel was playing, Wiltshire wouldn't be playing any games. So he's a bit like Craig McRae when it comes to kids. He's very reluctant to play them. And then at B, when he does play them, he plays them out of position where you can't get anything out of him. Like Mitch Nevitt. Mitch Nevitt destroys the VFL. He gets 35, 40 touches every week. But Chris Scott, last year when he'd make him as a sub, he wouldn't bring him on until the 5 minutes of a fourth quarter, put him up full forward, put him on a wing, and he does terrible and he gets dropped.
Yeah.
So it's just we have players at VFL level, but Chris Scott just won't play him. And as he said in his press conference, he'll tend to give his superstars more leeway.
Yeah, admits it. At least he admits it.
He admits it.
That's the thing. They're chasing the flag. And as long as they think they're still alive and a chance, they're gonna trot out the sort of, greatest hits.
Well, correct, but I don't know what they're doing with Myers. I don't. That's what everyone doesn't understand. If you're playing Cameron White, you're playing Myers. As far as I'm aware that you play Myers until he does his ACL. There's no point in putting him on the sidelines. What's the point in that?
Well, I don't know about Cameron's injury, but perhaps he can't worsen it, but Myers can. So he's trying to keep Myers fresh for finals. Or I don't know about nerve injuries, but I assume he can't damage it further, right? But Myers can sprain the ACL.
Yeah, like Cameron. No, Cameron, unless he actually breaks his arm, he can't injure. He can't get worse. But yeah, with Myers or Messi as we call him, if he's got this awareness, then I guess that can turn into a full ACL. But like I said, he's training. It's not like he's sitting on the sidelines. He's participating in training, full body contact training. But when it comes to selection time, he doesn't play. He's not even playing VFL. He's not playing VFL either. That makes it even more extraordinary. Why is he training, but he's not playing VFL?
Oh, look, he'll probably play. He'll probably play. I mean, do you have a hard run home, Lucas, or are you fairly easy one?
No, we got 50-50. The last 3 games are pretty easy, very easy. We play North and Richmond.
Okay.
But we've got Melbourne coming up. We've got Collingwood coming up. So yeah, that's 50-50 with that one. But yeah,
he'll probably play Myers. I reckon he'll play him near the end of the season and finals time. Look, honestly, I would take Chris Scott over McRae any day. So I reckon Scott's ahead of the game. He'll have it primed for finals, guaranteed. I reckon.
The problem for Chris Scott is if you lose this week, then you're in real trouble. You're in big trouble.
You guys are going to fall out of the top 6 or something.
If we lose, depending on results, we'd fall out the top 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And then we've got like I said, we've got Collingwood. Then we've got Melbourne. You'd need to win two out of those 2 games before it gets a little bit more easier.
We go above Geelong if we win and Geelong loses this week.
So the last 3 games, So the next 3 games we've got Giants, Collingwood, Melbourne. We need to win at least 2 of those. And if we lose to Giants, which could happen, I don't see us winning any of those games against Collingwood or Melbourne. and then that would put us out of finals. And then we're just relying on a soft draw. And I don't really want to get into finals just stat padding against, with all due respect, North in Geelong and Richmond in Geelong also.
Oh, man. That's quite bad for us because I was hoping that you'll keep winning, and then perhaps when Collingwood play Geelong, it isn't as intense. But now it's like a proper final, that game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Geelong Collingwood.
Yeah, it's got heavy repercussions. Yeah.
Oh, that's annoying.
Because
Okay, what
So we
I
might
found
have to-
for you, Lucas, I've Googled ACL awareness to see if it's a thing. And basically, the best I could find on Reddit was that
Reddit.
players should
can you
pay
believe this,
attention.
Matt?
Basically, it's a knee fatigue thing and a lingering soreness or a minor sprain that's like a warning sign that the joint or the ligament is about could actually go.
Mm. Yeah. So yeah, he's definitely trying to hold him back for a bit until finals. I think.
I
Holy
think back in
shit.
the old days, Matt. I might be wrong here, Matt, but if you weren't injured, you played, and if you were injured, you didn't play. You know, there was none of this awareness crap or fucking hamstring or another one, hamstring awareness. So it was not either you did your hamstring or you didn't. That's how stupid we've gone in this AFL.
Yeah.
Like,
Sports
where did
science
that word
has
come from,
it's
awareness?
a bit complicated.
Right. This word awareness, like it feels like it's only been in the AFL last 2 years. Like,
Yeah. I hate it.
they just make it up.
You'll have to
Make
put
it
your
up.
questions to Ben when he's on next.
Yeah.
Geez, tell you what, Fremantle know how to put their foot down when they're 3 points up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that
Yeah,
last
2
quarter.
points. They were 2 points down at 3/4 time, and they kicked 9 goals, 3 to 3 goals.
Yeah, I literally watched the last
yeah,
like 10 minutes
yeah.
of that game, and they were literally neck and neck. And then next I look up, they were up by 7 goals.
They did the same thing to
Yeah,
us.
scary.
They did the same thing to us.
I know. Here's the thing, though. If we played them in a final, I have that silly belief that we actually might beat them, like some kind of fluky win.
I
Well, they don't like-
said that
they don't
last.
like
I said that last week.
They don't like playing Collingwood. We match up. We've always matched up pretty well on them.
Mm. That's
If
probably
we-
the most frustrating part of this season. Is as bad as we're going, like everything still seems so achievable. All right, even to like win the flag, like the flag's not that it's not that far fetched. Like I feel like if you were to get Collingwood at its peak in terms of what we can achieve, I still think we can still win the flag. But again, a lot of shit has to go in our way, and Fly has to stop doing the dumb shit and stop using the Presti sign. You know, halfway through the first quarter, it feels like at times. But like, if we stop doing dumb shit, I feel like we could even be flag favourites, if anything. Like,
I'm proud.
like,
of
the
how
reason why
we-
we've sucked is because of us. Like, you know,
I'm really proud of how we played. How we kept Freo to 7 goals that night.
yeah. But it's been
Yeah,
like
man.
a
That was
consistent
like-
performance, though. Right? That's probably the other thing is that we've shown on a consistent basis that we are a very good side. Like, there's no. Like I don't get the sense that we're like pretenders. Like the only times where I get the sort of the notion that we're pretenders is that when Fly's fucking up, and that again it's like self-inflicted rather than because again it's like that Sydney game. I feel like we can play that Sydney game every single week if we were to just go out there and just hey guys, let's just go like fast and furious. And let's just throw caution to the wind, and let's just say, all right, fuck it, let's just go and like put our heads over and just attack the footy, and let's just see what happens. Like when you have such a positive and sort of carefree mindset, the players are talented enough to actually like get the job done. Like I just don't see like I don't know about you guys, but I just don't see this big hurdle in front of us to jump over, or this big brick wall that we have to jump over. Like
what?
Two-edged sword, right? Double-edged sword. We've got a great system that keeps us right in most games. However, the double-edged sword is the same system keeps them in the game too. That's the problem.
What's your record in
but,
Brisbane?
but again, like them being brought into it is because of our own. I don't know if incompetence is the right word, but it's like we just stop playing football. We just have such a defense, like especially when we engage in Prestige mode, we just go so defensive to where we sort of like. I mean, at this point, I'm convinced Prestige mode isn't Prestige mode. It's tanky mode. That's basically what it is. Because every time we've gone Prestige mode, we just turn to utter shit. Like we have our own like tanky mode, and like that's literally how bad it is. Like I mean, how many times? Yeah,
we basically held a very strong, like the strongest offense in the league. We only one of their forwards that night, only one of their key forwards, I think, kicked a goal, and that was Amos at the end. Tracy didn't kick a goal that night, and neither did Voss.
Yeah.
The problem was that night we were so worried with their forwards that we just didn't attack. We put all our effort into just stopping them, and unfortunately, that meant that we had no scoreboard separation, and they essentially beat us with out of 3 centre bounces. I think forget what might have been the third quarter. They took it out of the centre and kicked 3 goals in like a couple of minutes, really, really quick in a game that had hardly any goals kicked. And they got that fucking one at the end. So in about 3-4 minutes of football, they beat us. That's the problem. Our balance was off early in the year. We were so defensive that we weren't willing to risk anything to go the other way. And that's why teams were always getting a sniff against us all the time and beating us. And I think that if they just adjust the levers a little bit, so we still keep that defensive part of our game, but just not too much. Not so much that we're not scoring either. That's the problem. Our ratio was just out quite a bit. Whereas Freo have a pretty good ratio. Freo are keeping teams to low scores, but also killing them the other way. But they've just got Freo have such a balanced list. It's probably one of the most balanced lists I've seen for such a long time. It took him. I mean, it's taken him like 5 years to build that list.
Yeah,
We just don't
I
have that.
actually kind of wonder if the whole season's been kind of planned. Like looking at last year, I don't know if do you guys think that we actually planned to start off slow and peak a bit later in the season, or is that just we're shit and we're garbage, or you reckon there was some deliberate thought behind that?
I think there was deliberate thought, but the problem is, plans don't always work out. We obviously put emphasis on not doing what we did last year. The problem is some of the results didn't go the way they expected, and now we're suddenly chasing it, They probably thought we would have had a few more wins by the middle of the year. Yeah. So yeah, that's the issue. We cut it a bit fine too often, and then our destiny's kind of not quite in our hands.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like just one more, we win that Hawthorn game and 2 of the others. So
Hawthorn,
then what's that?
Fremantle, and
So 6. That means we're on.
Bulldogs,
We'd be 3. We'd be third. We'd be third.
Yeah.
And don't forget, we only lost to Adelaide by 14 points, and we had those 2 shocking 50-meter penalties, which just snuffed the game. And we were going to win that. That was the umpire just saying, "I'm going to cost Collingwood a win here." So it just made it impossible. Silly 50 meters. So it's such fine margins. 4 close losses, 5 if you include the Adelaide one and a draw. We win half of those, and we're third.
Is that why he likes close games? Because he'll probably take that perspective into it. Like during his premiership year, he won all those close games, and then almost like made a living out of it. And now he's getting what he wants the close games, but he's not winning them. But he's thinking like that. He's thinking like, well, if we just won these, we'd be sitting third, so we're not that far away. Is that
what we do? Part of what we do is we're like a keto. We will beat North Melbourne by 7 points, and then we'll get beaten by the Swans by 3 points in the space of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we go, oh, we're playing Swans this week. We better lift. Oh, we're playing West Coast this week. Nah, whatever. We'll just get a 3-goal win. Just do what we have to do. We're other sides, and what Collingwood did in 2011, we'd beat those teams by like 80 points regularly, and we were just ruthless. Unfortunately, we were a bit too ruthless because we ran out of gas by the time. But the point is that really good teams know how to put a side away, like Freo did with Sydney tonight. They just obviously just went bang, and just they've got to 5 or 6 goals up in the last quarter. They're obviously going to win. Did they stop? Did they put the Presti sign up and say, "Oh, let's just manage ourselves"? No, they totally annihilated the Swans.
Do you remember that game, that Freo North Melbourne game from a few weeks back? That shocked me. Like, I couldn't believe a team like that's a scoreline that I used to see like Melbourne or Fitzroy have.
Yeah. Yep.
31 to
how
154. Wow.
But at the same time, how stupid are North? I don't mind North selling home games, but how stupid are they playing a fucking Perth, a WA-based team though? How stupid was that?
Because they didn't have 2 home games in Perth
They
in
did.
WA.
They played Freo at Brumby. They got embarrassed, and they played West Coast at Optus as a home game.
And then they got belted by Adelaide a couple of weeks before that.
Correct, they did, yep. By
And then
70, 80.
belted them.
Correct, yep.
So, like, they've had a pretty shit year, really. They've only beaten...
That Geelong, okay, so if you look at the scoreboard, you think, Geelong won easily. That wasn't an easy game. So that was at Cardinia Park. North were in front in the third quarter. We kicked about 10 goals in the last. They ran out of steam, but that game was that doesn't reflect the scoreboard. That game, we took a long time to put them away, and there was something there because I did the watch along. It drove me absolutely because I said we're gonna fucking lose to this team, and then that was one of Cameron's better games. Cameron kicked 6 in that game, I think. But no, it took a long time to put North, and I thought after that game, fuck, North are gonna do all right, and they haven't. They've been blown away in a lot of games. Like the West Coast game where they played West Coast. I picked West Coast in that game. So I thought that was I know it's against West Coast, but I thought that was a good game because they had a hell week, blown out by Fremantle. And I thought, fucking, you're so stupid selling games to fucking WA and playing WA-based teams. And they surprised me. They won that game. They came out of the first quarter and kicked 4 or 5 goals. And I thought, okay, maybe they're slightly turning a corner. But every time they do, they take 2 steps back. So you can't, the game last week against Port Adelaide, they should have won that game. I know Port Adelaide won the showdown, but they should have won that game, North. And they just disappeared in that fourth quarter, and that's the frustrating thing about North.
What
They're
about
not-
they've played Essendon twice this year and only won by
Yeah.
2 goals each time.
Yep, they're not. Well, that's it, isn't it? The games that they've won have been top-up games. Like they've played West Coast twice, Richmond twice, Essendon twice, Port Adelaide twice, which they should have won last week. They bet Port early in the year, so they've only played around the bottom 5 teams twice.
And they're not putting them away. They're not winning by big margins.
Like the only real good game I'd say they've won this season is Gold Coast. But Gold Coast are a basket case. Like they were down by 40 points in that game, and Gold Coast coming off Alice Springs, they faded out. But that's another moment where you think, okay, maybe North have turned a corner. They've improved. And then they put up embarrassing performances like that against the Crows and that. And you think, well, geez, they've just gone back to square one. They're so hard to read, North, because you don't know where they're at. And the teams they do win, they're just bottom 5 teams. And as you said, Boyd, they don't really blow them out. They should have belted Essendon by 30, 40 points that game. So I think they're coach.
If St Kilda are bashing up on Essendon, and St Kilda aren't very good,
Yeah.
then North should have won by 10 goals.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah. Well, they
Because I
didn't.
watched that North game. Essendon weren't trying. They should have murdered Essendon in that game, but they just couldn't.
When so after halftime, then they kicked like 3-4 goals. They're up by 20 points.
Yep.
Because I watched that game and they kicked away and I thought, oh, this game's over. And then I went out and then I came back and the margin was only fucking 3 goals. I thought, Jesus Christ, what happened here?
Yeah, Larky only kicked 1 goal.
Well, see, he's horribly out of form. I don't know what's happened to him. He was all Australian, wasn't he? Last year or year before?
Yeah, I think he was like really almost close to winning the Coleman.
He's fallen off the cliff this year. I don't know what's going on with that.
I just worry about it because we have to as Collingwood people was where it's if we'd banked a bunch of wins then it wouldn't be so stressed. It's the fact that we've now got to basically win almost every game that now all of them are pretty much like finals games, and now you have to worry about even bottom sides that you're playing now. Even West Coast in a month, you're playing them over there. You're not gonna just think that it's in the bag because you know that's the problem.
Another team that's croaky, West Coast, and they're another team that's croaky.
It's a shit position to be in, having to fucking Last year we qualified. This year we've got to make this incredible run to get there.
Yeah, I hope it suits us though. Like knowing flying, how we're always doing comebacks. Perhaps this is the best occasion where we're behind, trying to come back into the season. So I don't know. I'm probably a bit too hopeful, but. Yeah.
Oh well, this is the part of the fun. Now you ride the wave and see where it goes. We're gonna push to try and get as far as we can. That's why I don't buy it when people say, "Oh, you're a wild card side." It's like, yeah, well, we are if we finish in the wild card. Let's see where we end up. Maybe we're even worse than a wild card side. Who knows? We've got to win each week. Just take it easy. That's it.
What are the games where you think that we just can't win? What are the games left where you're thinking that we can't win that?
I don't think that about any game really. I never think that. Even against Hawthorn, who really
we're always a chance.
Yeah,
we're always a chance against any side, and it's been like that for decades.
What about
it just comes down to tipping.
What's your form in Brisbane like?
Brisbane?
We
pretty good.
Played them in Melbourne, I think.
A couple of games last year.
We'd be on top of the ledger since the premiership year, be about even Stevens. We win nearly every one. We win about half of them at the MCG, and they win the other half. And I think we've probably won 3 of the last 4 games at the Gabba or something ridiculous. So they hold no fears for us. But like you got to remember in 2024, the second last game, everyone was writing us off, and we came back from behind and beat Brisbane at the MCG. So
epic game.
So it must be frustrating then, because so you're saying that you're always in with a chance to win any game on any given day. But when you lose the same way like McRae does, that must fucking do your head in, hey? That must fucking drive you nuts.
Welcome to the club.
Like Collingwood fans didn't enjoy 2022, 2023 because you can only enjoy it in the last, it's 5 point difference and there's 20 seconds left and Will Hoskin-Elliott takes a mark on the wing. Oh, okay, now I can enjoy it for 10 seconds.
We lived for 2 years. That's what it was like. It was just awful. It was like you were fucking running away from someone like chasing you with a fucking jackhammer. Your heart was racing.
Yeah. And it was either 3 goals down at 3/4 time and we'd have to come back, or we were 3 goals up, or sometimes 4 or 5 goals up at 3/4 time. We'd park the bus and then they'd come at us. So it wasn't always us coming from behind. We'd get to a lead and go defensive for 10 minutes and let them back in.
Yep.
That happened just as much as when we would come from behind. The famous one I really remember, but this was actually 2024, I think, was a gather round against Hawthorn. Oh, that was just painful.
As a neutral, you want games to be close, like for other teams, not your team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, yeah.
Our games are thrilling for the rest of the fucking world.
Also as well, for a few of those games, a lot of those close wins that we had, even in 23, we should have won those games by 4+ goals.
Yeah.
And I think that was also the frustrating part, because every time it'd be 3/4 time, we'd be down by 3-4 goals. And it seemed like that's literally what Fly wanted. And I mean, it probably was. It probably was a tactic. Hey, let's try and be as competitive as we can, but as long as we're not more than 4 goals in, as long as we're not down by more than 4 goals, everything's okay.
Yeah, because we can chase them down.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter who it was. It could be against Brisbane or it could be against West Coast. It didn't matter who we were playing.
He scripted it out a little bit where he would actually call out from the sidelines. Okay, I need you to get me 1 more goal. That kind of thing. Then they'd set up a little differently. Then they'd go back to their defensive setup afterwards. Yeah, it was pretty fucking agonizing. Jeez. And in the finals too, like to win those 3 finals in it combined, 10 points?
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous that we went through that fucking hell.
Yeah. It was like 6 points, 3 points, and 4 points or something.
Yeah, it's actually wild how opposition supporters think that that's actually a good thing. Like, I feel like I've got PTSD and fucking trauma from that shit. Like,
yeah.
It's a good thing for the game. It's not a good thing for supporters. It's a good thing for other people, other neutrals.
Yeah, because they're like Collingwood's playing, the AFL and the rest of Collingwood's playing. Okay, we're going to get a close game. Everyone's got someone to barrack for, and everyone can get excited. All of the Collingwood fans obviously want us to win, and everyone else is hoping Collingwood loses. So it's fantastic. You got a Collingwood game, everyone's going to watch it, and everyone's got someone to barrack for.
Yeah.
So
we just lack a bit of polish, right? Our list just it's not it's not the best. So the problem is we also don't really have a list that can like do what Fremantle did tonight. He's got us competitive enough where we're just around the mark, and we just can't go that extra little bit that we need to go to just put games away early.
Yeah.
I think we'll get back there though. I think these new kids we've got these new guys that we've got are going to give us. I think a lot of our game style was all about protecting the oldies, and when you don't have to do that anymore, I reckon.
Yeah,
exactly. We'll see something different.
Mm.
They won't be recruiting slow players anymore. See, our slow players are just leftover players, mainly. We're not not many of the guys we're recruiting now are slow.
No.
Aside from Longy.
Yep.
Like, well, because Lachie Neale's, they've pretty much confirmed that he's chosen Collingwood over the others. So it looks like it's happening.
But is that down to coaching though? Like, let's so Void, you just said you don't have the list that can blow away teams. So if you put Justin Longmuir in that team, like in Collingwood's team, do you think he'd play the same way as he could with Fremantle?
I think Justin Longmuir, that he could never get Fremantle to compete until he had the list. The list's taken him a good 5 years to put together. And in that gap, how many times have they called for his head because Fremantle were nowhere near it? He's obviously taken the time to just very patiently build the list. He built his defence first, then he put together his midfield, then he's put together his forward line, then he adds Shai Bolton as the little final piece of his. Longmuir is a very dour sort of guy. He's not even. You see him in presses. He's like, he's very like, what would you call it? He's introverted.
Yeah.
And I think he's very rigid in his approach to how he coaches. So he built it methodically. And now they've got the perfect list to deliver him what he wants. Whereas I think that what Collingwood's historically done, we haven't waited for that success. We've wanted to compete each year. We weren't willing to take 5 years to, being kind of crap. I think we've always used the mentality that the battlers will get us there each year, and we'll sort of build as we go at the same time as still contending. Collingwood, the only 2010 is a good example. That's the first time I think Collingwood legitimately had the best side in the league. Like, that was the first in my life. That's the first time we've had a Collingwood side. I'm like, yeah, that's an unstoppable side.
Yeah.
But every other year, it's been like, aside from 2010 and 2011, it's been like, I hope we can win it. Hopefully we're lucky. Hopefully our guys show up today. It's never been like, 2010 and 2011 felt like the first time ever. It was like a sure thing almost to win each week.
Oh, 2010 and 2011 was incredible. Like, it was because it was kind of like by design where we would only play 2 quarters every week. For those 2 quarters, we would pile, like, every week we would kick 24 goals because I remember going to those games every week. And the standards that we would have is that if we kicked anything under 24 goals, we would go home sad. That's literally the standard that at least I had as a fan, because the amount of times that we would have 6 goals in a quarter and then consistently right through. And then there'd be other games where we'd be down, I don't know, say 5-6 goals at halftime. We'd kick like 2 goals, 15 or something. We'd end up finishing the game with like 22, 24 goals because we'd kick 20 goals in the second half. Like, it's just and the team was always really good at just switching the, having to like flip the switch. Where there was plenty of games where, we were down by 5-6 goals, but then, come the end of the game, we're probably winning it by 40 plus. and we tend to. I think we were basically doing that pretty much every week. Like I think even Geelong were doing it at times too when they were winning their flags. Where the first half, like they wouldn't even like turn up, and then second half they'd just find a way to just turn it on. And they'd be like two completely different teams.
It's like those 200-point beltings against Melbourne and Richmond.
Mm.
You know, the only team we struggled. We remember in 2010, we always every time we played Melbourne weren't even a good side. We always struggled to play Melbourne that year. We drew. I think we drew once and then won by a point the other time. It was just really weird that year. That was the. And then the second.
That was 2010.
In 2011, we struggled with Geelong. It was just that was funny. Just really funny.
Yeah. I think we struggled in 11 as well, but I don't think it was a point and a draw. But it was still close games. We might have even lost in 11 actually, from memory. I feel like that there was, especially when D's were really, really bad. I feel like we had a loss around that time. Or maybe I'm thinking of like the draw or something.
So that's I think the issue is. I think the Collingwood supporters do want them to contend, and I'm sure Freo do as well. But he was pretty patient getting that list together.
How did you guys go against Richmond during their dynasty, like in the regular season?
When we played them,
yeah,
we tend to go all right actually.
We couldn't.
I mean, 2018 we did pretty well in the prelim, but
we could only stay with them for three quarters.
Yeah.
In 2018, the reason I thought we were going to lose because in the home and away we played them twice, and we stayed with them for three quarters, but then they just ran over the top of us in the last quarter in both those home and away games. So when we got to the prelim, I thought, oh fuck, we can't stay with Richmond. You know, that was such an anomaly, that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Mason Cox legacy game, that.
Yeah, because it was so close yet so far. Because it's like you knew that Pies could compete, but you didn't know if they could get over the line. And then once we sort of put it all together in 18, it was just like one of the most like best feelings ever because it was that thing of like, damn, I think on paper we can potentially do something here, but fuck, there was this huge like mountain you sort of had to climb, and you didn't know if you could if you had it in you. And then when it happened and you climbed that mountain, it's like, holy shit! Like this is such a great feeling.
Did you guys make finals during COVID?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we made an elimination final against West Coast, and then I can't remember who we played second week, but got thumped in the second week.
Geelong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And they
that was the Dirty Pies. That was the Dirty Pies West Coast final. Coxie had another good final.
That was Buckley.
Oh,
so
really?
Buckley got sacked in 21, yeah. So Buckley got sacked midway through 21.
Wow, okay.
Because when the trade period happened in 2020, that's when we that's when he sort of lost the playing group, and he was basically cooked from there. He had no chance of surviving after that.
I didn't know it was that late. I thought it was like 2020.
I reckon if COVID didn't happen, I reckon Bucks wouldn't have lost the players if we weren't in those fucking hubs.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, possibly.
Hubs, yeah.
Stevenson would probably have a career still.
Although a lot of players didn't cope very well in them, and you don't blame them.
They couldn't have their fucking partners there.
Would have been tough, and I think they some of them ended up a lot of them ended up leaving the hubs and just deciding not to play any more football because they couldn't really handle it in there.
Yeah, it was also more. Yeah. I think it was also more the people that didn't have partners that had more of an issue for reasons that probably best not to get into.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I think we know all the rumours with Stevenson, what happened, things he was doing in the hub.
that's what fucked us, though. I think that it was. I just think that the stress levels were really high, and people they got on each other's nerves.
Mm.
It's a
I think
miracle.
it probably would have also hurt their like chances as well, given that they probably would have been so close together. I'm wondering if it affected like relationships. It probably even improved some because like I guess when it comes to football, it would have really helped the people that are complete like for those that love their football like nuffies, they probably would have loved the hubs. But then like the ones that are sort of like the ones that aren't nuffies but maybe show a bit of interest, you know, like the ones that need to go fishing or that need to like take a break, those are the ones that probably would have suffered.
I'll tell you what, Sean. What I loved about the hubs, like I think 90% I hated it. I hated the hubs, but that 10%, I love that there was a game every day. Like every single day, there was a game on.
Fuck, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I love that point. Like a random Tuesday night or a Wednesday during the day. I love that. I really enjoyed that bit of it. And I thought that
but
the
I
AFL
think
would.
but also as well, that's just more the fact that like we're just footy lovers, and I don't think I think to us it doesn't matter if the footy's on Saturday night or Tuesday morning or whatever.
No,
if the footy's on, like, especially if it's like our teams, if it's our teams, we're watching it no matter what. And I guess
think
because
we were so fucking depressed at that time, like not knowing what the hell was happening, that we were just happy to get some fucking comfort, you know, from a football game because, like, you know, we weren't allowed to fucking see anybody. I couldn't see. I remember, you know, my mum. She was sort of stuck in her house is like it's got an electronic garage and doors and everything, and the power went out, and I wasn't allowed to go down. I wasn't allowed to go outside of 10 kilometers, you know.
What a dickhead that fucking Dan Andrews was. What a dickhead.
I wonder if there's actually been stories where like people have actually gone against it and they've just gone, nah, fuck it, and if they got caught in the process. And like if they got punished in some way, because like again, if you've got like a family member that's like struggling, or again, it's like imagine if you had like, you know, if I'm like, let's just say if you're in your 30s or 40s and you've got like, you know, a mum that or a dad or just like a parent or whatever, if they're like struggling through sickness or you know if they're not like at their peak in terms of health, if they're like having a day where they're struggling or they fall down and break a hip or something. I'm really, I don't know, I'd be really curious to know what people would do in those moments because surely you can't just sit back and do nothing. You just have to go, no, fuck it, I'm just gonna.
I can tell you how crazy it was from someone I know that he's there was like a funeral.
Were totally unlawful.
Yeah.
There was a funeral with for his auntie, I think.
Yeah.
She actually got so upset during COVID that she got so afraid of it, for what they were saying all the time. She actually took her own life just out of fear of getting it.
Yeah.
And then so they went to have the funeral. It was actually well publicized, this story. And they had the funeral and only 4 people could go. So they had to decide which family members were going to miss out.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
It's disgraceful.
Another fucking dickhead, Dan Andrews. You know, in South Australia it was a bit more relaxed, a lot more relaxed.
Hey guys,
like you could.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm gonna shut this down, but I'll keep backstage open, so we can keep chatting. All right. So anyone who's still out there, we've got 11 people watching, but I reckon there's a few crashed out on the couch. But thanks for hanging in there if you're still out there listening and watching on the replay. And we will see you all tomorrow for the... Oh, by the way, are you doing a watch-along, Sean, with Mick for VFL?
Fuck, I didn't even think of it. Yeah, I'll have to check with him.
Okay.
Is it Friday?
at
Is
3
it Friday after?
Yeah, it's a curtain raiser. It's like 3:30, I think, something like that before the.
Yeah, Mick
before
said
the
he's
AFL?
doing one, but he's doing one on his channel. He said he is doing one.
Okay.
Okay, I might be able to do it because that's cutting in with some stuff that I've already committed to. Oh, I should be okay though, but I'll be
might
cutting
have,
it really close.
Yep.
I will talk to Mick anyway. So I'll
I'll talk
I'll
to him.
start my pre-game. Assuming there is a watch long, I'll start that pre-game after that watch long, around about I guess it'll be about 6, something like that.
Yep.
So thanks for contributing on the panel, guys, and everyone in the chat and everyone listening, and we'll see you all tomorrow at some stage. Go Pies.
Ciao.
No, thank
Go
you, Matt.
Pies.
Thanks, everyone.
But hang around, guys. I'll keep it open, the backstage.